since we take the entire meeting and post it online, and then we take excerpts from the meeting to show you different demonstrations and pieces and tips and hints and all that. Everything we do is out in the front of everybody. So there's no need to say, if you're not a member, you can't see it. Hell, I want you to call all your friends and tell them to see it. So if you'd like to record it and help us out, let's step on up. Remember, you got to stand on one leg. And we'd love to have you in a pack. And there's no hierarchy here. There's no, oh, I can't do that. I'm not a gang member or whatever. There's no gang. You're seeing right now are just regulars who gather early each week before the meeting, and we talk it through. We really do. We just look at what is going on and what we need to talk about. I mean, we didn't do a weather report yet today. That normally pops up from the first half an hour or so. And the other, I started fooling around with some stuff the other day, and I was watching some old videos and ours. And I said, yeah, I found a flaw. And I did radio and TV for 25 years. Radio for the full-time, TV for about 15. And then a lot of other stuff. One thing we always had was a format. Yeah, you know, I didn't, when I got over there in the 70s, one of the guys said, "What's the big 21?" I was lost. What's the big 21? A half-hour program on television had 21 minutes of programming and 9 minutes of commercial. Mm-hmm. That used to be the standard. And he said, "What's the big 21?" The 9 minutes of commercials, that didn't matter. It's you had to get them to the commercials with the 21 minutes of programming. So I was looking at it and I thought, well, we have to develop a format to keep us, because we have folks all over that's tuned in. They watch or join us to see certain parts of what we do. But they might miss it because we have too many things going on at too many different times. So what I'd like to do is create a format where we have an open talk thing, a gallery, wide open gallery spread, have Safety Sue when she's available to us, the main demo, another open gallery, offline chat, things like that, but stage them out at set times and try to stick to it as much as possible. I know when some folks are doing a demonstration that needs to stretch a little bit. I'm all right with that. I'm okay if they come up short a little bit. That's fine. But let's see if we can get the start times that kind of line up a little bit.
Is this because we got to start the demo top of the hour?
Oh, no, we don't. Well, that's just one of the things. We really don't have to start the demo at the top of the hour.
No. Well, no. So normally we free will with the start times for the demo, but for tonight for the demonstrator,
who is that?
He has to get on at literally the top of the hour because he's been up all day from across the pond. It's Chris Parker.
Okay, it's the top of the hour, top of the 7 o'clock Central Hour.
Well, here in 10 minutes.
Okay, that's a 6 o'clock hour for me. Okay, all right. Well, I'm okay with that. We got to get a lot of gallery tonight. I hope.
And this is a quick demo, so we can do all kinds of gallery tonight. We'll see if we actually get a lot of gallery tonight.
Okay, that'd be fun. Really, now next week is going to be our show me your crotch. Show us your crotch. It's not just me. Everybody wants to see it. So, and I have a list of them. Wait, let me do something here. See if this comes up. You see, I've got a couple of mapped out here Um, we have Show Me the Crotch, and that's going to be February 15th. And Brenda brought up last week that we should see the bottoms. And I got to looking at it. We show the top of a piece, the profile of it and everything, but sometimes the art or lack thereof on the bottom affects the whole piece. So we're going to look at the bottoms, any shape, anyone you want. And then we're going to do gnomes. Matt Harbor asked us to do gnomes, and that's going to be March 15th. Lay some wooden eggs for the Wednesday right around Easter. The Canon challenge is we take on Martin and those other guys in the UK. This is America. This is our chance. I mean, I know Martin's over there. He's got those little poppers and everything else going. So we're gonna have a little challenge there. Plates and platters. Now there's one. What's the difference between a plate and a platter? Well, start off making a platter, screw it up a few times, and you got a plate. Screw that up a few times, you got a tea saucer. So that's why we're doing plates and platters. And had a request by email, jewelry. Can we do some jewelry? And why not? We can do jewelry. That might be a good project for novice turners. I didn't say beginner turners. It might be a good challenge for novice turners. There's almost no hardware. What you need to do earrings and necklaces and all that, you buy at Michael's or Hobby Lobby or Amazon. And you'll make a lot of points with your family when you do these things. I did that a long time ago. I made my kids and all my grandkids earrings. Well, my grandson didn't appreciate that, but made them all earrings one year. And it was so nice to pick up little chunks of wood that came off of the ends of pen blanks. In fact, a pen blank will give you a dozen earrings. But you use the drops. Anything you turn that's gorgeous, take those drops that you cut off the corners. Take that scoop out. And when you peel the bottom off, you got a layer. Save those little parts. What's going to take a bucket to collect the whole year's worth? And then you get the practice, because then we may have to cover that. The best way I've known to do it, and just like I talked about last week about little medallions, is double stick tape on a mandrel. A mandrel, you make the work, your work. And you'll learn a lot by doing this. And like I said, you get a lot of points from the family. That's a lot of times we do these things to show the people around us what we do. Whenever I go to clinic, I bring an ink pen. And if there's a new person working with me, I'll give them a pen. And if I know I'm coming back, like my regular primary care doctor, I've taken hers and lasered the name in the side of it. And, I put best MD in the world and things like that. Just have a little fun. Makes a lot of points with the people you deal with. And it shows them that you really want to thank them. It's like Freedom Pens. You really want to thank them for what they do. It's not like, I thank you today. See you later. So consider doing things like that with some of the work you do. Same thing with plates and platters. Get them up nice, get a great finish on them, and do a presentation pieces. You get those goofy looking clamps that go around the outside. I'm not a great fan of those. I like to stick on the little tab with a hoop, and I get that at Hobby Lobby. And it makes for a cleaner presentation when you put them up. Because I have in one of our hallways, we have 27 plates. No, wait, we have probably 27 platters and 4 plates up on a wall in there. And that only happened because we ran out of flat room to store stuff when I kept turning it. So that's what we did. But an idea when if you're working on it, we talk about these challenges. They're not challenges. They're opportunities for you to turn something and show it off and then give it away. That's the critical part. Give it away. I know some of you guys sell stuff, that's fine. But we have to keep in our hearts is we make other people happy by giving a token, a gift, or whatever. Simple things, not a lot of material. It's good practice. That's the key part. That's why I say novice turners, the practice. Because all the effort you put into turning a bowl, you have to put it to turning a medallion or an earring or a brooch or something like that. All those procedures are the same. They go right on down the line, just as shorter little durations. They go right down the line, and that will help you improve your abilities to size, cut, slice, scrape, sand, finish, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it's unlike a bowl. If you screw up and we got this much involved, you start over again. All right. We're going to go to is he with us yet, Dane?
Let me look.
Right.
He is. He just logged on.
All right.
Hitting admit all for the queue.
Okay. So we have and who is this, please?
It's Chris Parker. If you could make him co-host, and could you make Martin Clarkson co-host too, please? But Chris Parker.
Trace has to do that right now. I'm not in the driver's seat.
Oh, okay. Trey, can you set up Chris Parker for co-host and Martin Clarkson, please?
No, I'm getting mine. All right. Well, we're going to go to UK, and Chris Parker's going to do our demonstration tonight. We had to move it up because our time frame and his time frame. That's like we were talking about Donald eating his breakfast over in Australia, Donald. But Martin Clarkson was having a midnight snack. So that's what we have to deal with. That's what we've chosen to deal with. Okay. Chris, if you're ready, sir, we can go there.
Yeah, you've got all my piece on there, Odie, yeah?
I can see you, Chris.
Okay. That Dane, that's brilliant, man. Okay, so Dane approached me about 10 days ago, I think, asking to demonstrate how I infilled these fissures in this piece of Jarrah Bear. So what I chose to do, as you can see, I used a brass powder, and it's a very simple process, but it really does bring out the beauty in it. Very nice and additional. So what we're going to do, gotta add that there. So I just need to get a sealer.
Chris, you hold that on one of those carving rigs that fits in your head, in your banjo, that you can tilt it, rotate it, etc. Yeah, that.
That is a wood cut cleavage clamp.
Okay.
So these really are quite expensive. I was lucky to get these second hand. But I'm sure somebody like Captain Eddie probably made this kind of thing in his day.
I got two of them. And I made them both.
Yeah, they're a very simple but a very good concept. They work very well. Oh, just simply bring it back up. There we go. So, the thing you need to do with this, first of all, you need to seal the wood before we start using the super glue. If you don't seal your wood, the super glue can stain quite deeply into the wood. So, a little bit of a sealer. So like a sanding sealer, or if you've got a lacquer on hand, that would do fine as well. It just needs to seal the surrounding area. And where's my glue gone? I've lost my bloody glue. Where's that gone? I had the glue on the side. Where's it gone? Just give me a second, guys.
Oh, you're not going to sing, are you?
Yes, no, somebody's moved my bloody glue.
Our demonstration is coming from Chris Parker in the UK tonight. We have a pretty good coverage right now of what is happening around the world. We're from Australia to Peru, to the coastal city, West Coast, Arizona. Whew, that is coastal. All right, we're with you, Chris. You ready yet?
Yeah, you just
All
give me
right.
2 seconds.
He'll be there. Don't rush. Don't rush, Chris. It's your demo. We all right. We'll be doing a gallery following this. We found out earlier, if you were here, Safety Sue is not feeling well tonight. Won't be with us. But I tell you, her and Jim Selby were cruising around the Florida Symposium last week and sent me a ton of photographs, which we will include in this month's coming newsletter, because you have to see some of this work. I mean, the big dogs went to Florida. That's all I have to say. All right, Rick, we're back with you.
Yeah, okay, we're good to go there, ready? Can you?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Pardon me.
Right. So you can see the fissures in the top of this. So simply clear, low viscosity glue, and simply tap some brass powder. Just take a little bit of abrasive that you don't mind getting stuck. So you just mix it up into a little bit of a paste, forcing it into the fissures of the wood. Obviously, don't use your finger because it'll get stuck. So you see the little bit of a paste that we've now got mixed up. It now easily goes into the wood. So that super glue is now set. So we go in with a little touch more. So you've got to build the layers up sometimes. And that, and get a little bit more of that. And just work it into the voids, into the wood. So you could either buy this powder from the craft stores or what, but also you can also source it from the companies who cut keys. So it turns into a really good paste. And just keep filling it. So that's starting to set a little bit now, as you can hear it. Over there. So you can now see on this side now, where we've filled it up, still needs a little bit more over there. And quite simply go in again, mixing it up with what glue you've got left.
So you're actually mixing it, filling it, and sanding it all there together, aren't you? In one step.
This actual fissure here was quite deep, so we filled it up in layers, a bit of the powder and then some glue, and then powder and some glue, building layers up as you go. So that's set quite well on there now. It's not quite at the surface as the wood. So it's like with the rest of that there, that's exactly what I would have done with all the rest of it. Let's just move that in a little bit there. There you go. And then you just pull it back. So we just let that dry off a touch. A little bit of heat. This helps the glue cure. Once, so you can see how that's filled now, so we can sand that back. And hopefully with putting some of the sanding sealer on first, it shouldn't stain the wood too much. So you can just see it coming through now. We just sand it back ever so slightly.
Chris, what grit of sandpaper is that?
That's a 180.
180.
180 on there. So you can see the metal coming through nice now. You see, when I'm doing a whole piece like that, spray it with a lacquer first or a sanding sealer, and it stops the super glue from penetrating too far. If the super glue penetrates too far, it can stain the wood. But as you can see there, that there's no staining, it's just the brass powder standing out.
Hey Chris, does it matter what grade of super glue? Are you using thin or thick or medium?
I use the low viscosity, so the thinnest one. I find it mixes up quite well with the powder.
Mm-hmm.
So the low viscosity. I think this is an American brand as well, actually. Blue Boost, fill and finish pro formula is what I use.
Okay, thanks.
A very simple process. I'll just get a little bit of oil and make that, and it really just stands out. It's really quite nice.
Quite popping.
Yeah, popping, that's the word. It's on, excuse me, but it's a little bit late in the night over here. So I'm just going to add a little bit of lemon oil, similar to like orange oil, that kind.
Oh.
And that's what she goes like.
Oh, yeah.
That's what caught my eye. It gives
Oh, yeah.
a marbling effect.
Yeah, so that's what she's like without a little bit of oil. So when you can build this up to a couple of layers. And it that really makes that pop, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what caught my eye when I saw it a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, that's the one there, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never seen somebody use lemon oil though.
It's just nice and pops it out. This was just for demonstration progress. I would, to make a nice deeper shine, you would use like a tung oil or a Danish oil. And you would add the layers, 3 or 4 layers.
Mhm.
And that shine and the sheen would go really deep into the wood.
Nice.
Yeah, it brings it up well, doesn't it?
Yes,
Yes,
it
it does.
does.
Lovely job, Chris.
Oh, hiya, Martin. I forgot about you.
All right. I'm going to jump in, Chris, because one of the things that we're probably all sat here sort of saying to ourselves is, can we really be bothered to put that stuff in layer by layer by layer? Why not just whack a bit of super glue in, shove a bit of powder in, job's done in 2 seconds? As you will see from Chris's demonstration there, the reason he puts it in layers is there's no voids behind it. So he's completely filling the void. So by putting the time in, when he comes to polish the whole thing, you haven't got crevices and cracks all over the place, as well as bits that are filled and bits that aren't filled.
Right.
And it really makes the difference to spend your time, if you're going to do something like this, in putting the work in, once you've put the work in on the lathe. And as you can see with that, it makes a tremendous piece.
Yep.
Even if it is beautiful wood to start with, Chris, and you've just enjoyed it.
Right.
We made it look more pretty.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, you did.
Hey, Chris, is that
What
a,
grit powder what grit powder are you using? Or does it tell you?
Wait, sorry.
What
The grit
grit power?
The powder,
Yeah.
I don't think there's actually a grade on it. But I'll put some in my hand. Is it extremely fine? You can see
Yeah.
that's very hard to feel, like the molecular size of it.
The reason why I'm asking, the powder I've been using has been a 325 grit.
Okay.
But it's a very fine powder too.
Oh, you can. There's no. It's very hard to feel the size of the grain. It's that small.
kind of like baby powder, talcum powder.
Yeah. Maybe a good explanation, Dean. Yeah.
Okay.
It's extremely fine, and I know. I mean, you don't have to buy this from the craft stores. If you go to a company that cuts keys, a key cutting company, they get this kind of brass powder and they throw it away. I don't know.
I put a link in the chat to a powder source.
Yeah, I mean this
Outstanding.
one's from is in the UK, but I'm sure you guys have something in the US.
The brass we get from key machines is much coarser, or it is where I get them,
Oh, okay.
much coarser. Chris,
Yeah,
when you do this, how big an area, you don't do half the vessel or something. How big an area do you do at a time? Like 2 inches square? Or?
Yeah, you work in the area till there's sufficient coverage. Till you filled it and you can feel it, it starts to like spew out of the top.
But you do small areas at a time, right?
Oh yeah, literally
Yeah,
like
okay.
maybe an inch, 2 inches at a time.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, the whole of this piece probably took me maybe an hour, 2 hours. But it was nice and gentle, and you can see it happening, so it's really therapeutic.
They grade the powder. So like the powder I got from Amazon in the link I posted in chat, it was like 320, which is, really fine. It's a lot like the powder that Chris was using there. So
Okay.
that worked great. I mean, I've done a lot of that stuff. So that link I put in chat works really well.
Oh, thanks for that. That's brilliant. That.
And the powder is fairly reasonably priced because they use it in industry. They sell it in 55-gallon drums, so for industrial purposes. So it's not that expensive. It's reasonably priced.
Yeah, they have a couple of metals they do, like they sell aluminum powder too, and it comes out looking silver. So if you want to do that, that's also a choice. Same process.
Yeah.
Aluminum is really pretty.
Thank you so much.
The key shavings, would you have to grind that up?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Maybe.
okay. I used mine. I didn't grind it up. I just used it the way it was given to me.
The ones I have got, they were fine enough to use. I suppose it depends on the person you're getting them from. The one that I used were extremely soft. So,
The key shavings I've seen have had a lot of steel in it because they're very magnetic. So.
Oh right, okay.
I powdered mine a bit before I used that when I used key shavings. It's still, whoever was talking about that earlier, it's still much coarser than the brass powder is. The brass powder is super fine, and it really makes a nice consistent finish. It looks like you poured the metal in there.
Yeah.
It's night and day difference.
It's not expensive. It's like 20 bucks a pound.
For the cost of it, I would always go with the brass powder because it's not expensive, but it gives a really nice contrast.
Yes, it does. On that piece, it does nice.
That's just beautiful, Chris.
The brass powder is $20 a pound. It's so that's cheap.
Yeah, I mean you get with a nice contrast with this Jarrah burr, which is like the red that you can see, and then the brass it really just heightens the piece to another level.
Yes.
I mean,
I would think applying it the way Chris does, doing it with a slurry with the CA a little at a time, as opposed to dropping in a batch of super glue and then dropping in your median and then building it up that way to where you've got a proud ridge per se, is you're not going to be getting flat spots when trying to sand what you build up, doing it this way as opposed to the other.
You don't, if you
It's
could
very
get it the other
intuitive.
way, you like Martin said, you could end up with some voids, some
You'll end up
hollow bits, and all of a sudden you could end up with nothing there. But I mean, that was the color I started with the wood, and you wouldn't know that lies beneath.
That's very cool. Very cool. Yeah. When I've done it, what I've done is I put the powder in the cavities first and then use the super thin super glue, and it wicks into the powder and solidifies it all. And then, you're going to have a little some voids on the top. So then you do what Chris just did. You just build up another layer on top to get it proud. But most of it, you'll wick in and get most of it that way.
I mean, who knows? When I get to the inside, I will probably do the same as I've done on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like the effect so much.
Yeah.
What would be even cool would be maybe do since you did the gold on the outside, do silver on the inside.
Possibly.
Cool too.
I got you.
But I like the way Chris done it here because it was almost like he was filling it, mixing it, and sanding it all at the same time, all in one step.
Exactly.
Yeah.
One-stop shop.
Yeah, simplified it.
The difference with filling voids like that, like Matt's saying there, if you fill your void up with the powder first and then you add your super glue on the top, the super glue will penetrate so far into the powder it will not reach the bottom of the powder. So what you've got is a powder base with a super glue top. If you put your super glue in first, you're sticking your bit of powder to the top of the super glue. So what you've got is a super glue void, and then a powder top. If you're then going to turn it, and I expect to see this, Chris, turn that thin that you will be able to see what you've put in at one side at the other side. And if he does do that, it would be powder right the way through. There's no voids, there's no cracks. Each one of them will be taken care of the way that Chris has done it, by mixing it and adding it and layering it. So it does it makes for a very, very strong piece when it's finished, whatever way he turns it. I am joking, Chris, don't turn it that thin.
Sounded like a challenge to me.
No.
Not on that piece of
Martin knows not to challenge me. But one thing I would like to say is that whatever we do to a piece of wood, you've got to get the shape right.
Yeah.
I love embellishing and texturing, but if you haven't got that initial shape, guys, really take care in what you're adding to, and think, am I going to make it better? And like there's a big word that I was taught by a professional turner. It's called a catenary curve. And that curve is like a necklace round our neck. And it's just a nice soft all the way through. And it's nice. So, please try, get the best you can. Look at your piece, get it in different orientations so you can step back and see it and see how you look at it. Because sometimes whatever we throw at it, if it's a bad shape, it's still going to be a bad shape. So try and get it right first. And then when we add this kind of thing to it, it just goes like boom, and it's just, it just takes it to another level. So you've got to get it right, and it's like the tactility. I'm running a class in a few weeks, and the tactility to it has to be right. It has to feel right. It's the curves, because if nobody likes the flat, but that curve there, you can close your eyes and it's just a uninterrupted curve. It works well. That's all that I wanted to say.
Nice.
Thanks, Chris. That was great.
Yes, thanks, Chris.
You can get to bed now.
Yes, I can. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, sir.
Jane Chandler, thank you very much for the invitation.
No worries.
Martin, I'll catch you on the other side.
Yeah.
Eddie Castelling, you're a legend.
Oh boy.
I was following you about 8 or 10 years ago when you was outside you had your little you had the one-way lathe with a television monitor and all the rest of it. So I can remember watching you all them years ago. So it was good fun.
Thank you so much for the kind words, sir. I love that. That was one of those labors of love. And I'm going to be back to it. I'm back to it. And the one way's in that room right there. I can see that lathe right there. So
what is it called, Eddie? Big Man Productions, was it? Or
Big Guy Productions.
Big Guy Productions, that was it. All the way, Eddie. All the best.
Thank you, Chris. Very much.
See you on the other side.
All
Thanks,
right.
Chris.
Thank
We'll
you.
talk later, buddy.
Now, Chris was just saying about getting the shape right. Chris, that was 100%. 100%. If you're turning a curve, and I've always shown this little trick, if you take a pencil or an ink pen and you roll it around the outside of that curve, just like this, holding it just like this, if you have a flat spot, it'll put the brakes on. It will. No matter how smooth you think you have it, if there's a spot that's flat, you'll feel it rock. Well, that's got to go away because the flat spot holds light differently than the curved spot does. So what's the big deal? you look at the piece and the way the light hits it, when it reflects back at you, the curve will come back here, the flat will come back up here. And it'll look like you got a dull spot in your piece. So, and I found a long time ago, and some turners don't like this. If you do a final run with a scraper, and I have a unique way of using my scraper. I kick it up on a slight angle and I ride the heel. I don't lay it flat. I kick it up on and I ride the heel because I have ultimate control over how much it bites, because this is smarter than that steel plate. Barely, but I make my final passes with that scraper and to make them as pull passes, and you will work down those spots and you will skip over those flat spots and even them out or make them part of the curve. But the pencil trick, that's the one I've always used. And I've seen beautiful pieces. People have shown pieces on this gallery, and I can see the flat spots and the tears and the thing. And it's not criticism, but you have to see it in somebody else's eye. I know we all turn beautiful pieces. We look at it and it's magnificent and jump out at you. But look at it in somebody else's eye and see, you see that little torn swirl in the bottom of it? That's torn. If you splash back for that flat spot, either on the inside or the outside, that has to go away also. So I don't care what kind of finish you put on a piece. I really don't. And I have my preferences. You have your preferences. There's some people live and die by the 3408, and other folks by wipe on polyol. I don't care what you use. It doesn't matter. You're finishing a piece. You're not starting a piece, and you can't fix a piece. There's not a finish made that goes in a can or a bottle that'll fix bad wood turning. Boom. Bottom line, there isn't one. So if you get it turned right, sanded properly, and then put a good finish on, all the mystery of that wood comes out. See what Chris just did? Putting that filler on, sanding out that CA, and getting it back down. And he that was at 180. And many of us would push that to 320, 400 or whatever. Keep in mind that you don't want to polish the wood, you just want to sand it. But when you get that far, he put that lemon oil on it to show us. You did see that piece pop. It just popped right there. I heard you go, ooh. I went, ooh, because that's what it does for you. So I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, but that was a fantastic demonstration about how to accent your pieces. If you don't like the brass and you don't like the aluminum, they have about 50 other colors or types of infill that are powder grade. If you can't find it a powder grade and using some of the artificial stones, you can powder them yourself with a hammer. Yeah, put them on a piece of steel and just powder it out. Yeah, I've cheated that way. And just like I put the brass shavings in a coffee grinder, the coffee bean grinder, you can't use it for coffee again. Forget it. But that blew it down. It blew it down to a little bit finer thing, like Brenda was talking, had some little voids. If you handle those voids properly, they'll accent your work. So you do the super glue and you work in your shavings, and then you super glue it again, and you work that, and you think you got some holidays or some voids showing up. Do it again. Not the shavings, the super glue. Sand it down a little bit, take the high points off, and go again and touch those spots with super glue again. Build it up, and don't play games with super glue. If you use one viscosity, use one viscosity. Use one brand, use one brand. Don't say I'm going to use medium thin by Star Bond, and then I'm going to go back with Gorilla Glue on top of it. Boy, that hurt just saying Gorilla Glue. But if you mix those, they all have some additives in them to give them different working properties. mean, look at 3408. It cures, it's a surgical glue. It cures exactly opposite of some CAs. Some CAs, you don't ever get a chance to go back over it, putting a finish on. With 3408, you can work it in. Yeah. I watched Ronnie one day do a piece, and I'm thinking, your finger's going to stay on that spindle. Yeah, they did it for permanent. And he kept going back and forth over it, and it got brighter and shinier and nicer. And that's what made me think, you know, if there's magic to this, it's in the product and the use. And everybody can turn with it. So, Brenda, when you look at that piece, think about those voids are character. Character builds your work. If it was perfect, what the heck? Why would the rest of us bother if you're making the only thing that's perfect? All right. It's about a half an hour past our start time, 6:00 p.m. I had an email this week from a member, one of our regular members, that said he's going to a symposium for a club, and it is in Kentucky, either Tennessee or Kentucky, up there about Doug Biller's house. And he's gone to a symposium up there, or a multi-club demonstration. What's he have to do to get it promoted on this channel and his meetings? Simple. Go over there and put it in chat. Right there, type it in chat. Tell me everything you need to know about it. I mean, there's one right there from Cade Bolger. Cade Bolger's got a demonstration coming up next week. It's got some gorgeous work in it. It's going to show you. It's that thing that spins on top of a post that's got a funny name. He's from Canada, so it's not really funny to him, but it's got a funny name. It's a cute little thing. The talent and technique that go into that can be used in a million other projects. But that's Cade Bolger. He does one. Scott Hampton does demonstrations like that. We have several members that put their pay-per-views or their symposiums in there. In fact, last week, that's where I got the reminder about SWAT coming up the 25th, 26th, 27th of August in Waco, Texas. I got it from the chat. Tim Hatch. Thank you, Tim. Tim put it in there. Oh, Tim, I listed all the people that would be demonstrating. I screwed up because they haven't updated that. They updated the dates, but they did change the demonstrators' names. And they will be doing that really soon, because I was all in there, and somebody sent me a note that says, same guys were there last year. Yeah, he's right on me. But if you have a demonstration or a symposium, whatever, we collect nothing. We don't charge anything. We don't get free tickets. We're just like you sitting on the tailgate of the truck talking and lying about wood turning. So if you've got something wood turning related, I don't care what it is and where it is, put it in the chat. Our master webmaster, Dave Rhodes, takes it out of that and puts it on a events calendar that's on our website. So you can see what's happening everywhere by our event thing, only if you put it in there. Now, the next thing that Dave's got on the website, and at the moment of this, we have like a trade. He's got a nice name for it, and I can never remember it, but he's
Barter.
got a barter.
Barter.
There you go. Barter. He's got a barter section where you can go in and trade and swap and deal. It's not a sales department. It's not to do sales. I've got 20 African Blackwood pen blanks, 3/4 by 3/4 in my shop. And if I want to trade them for somebody's burl, I can put it on there and say, hey, I got these. What are you offering? And if you've got, I love burls. You got a burl, I'll make a trade with you. But there's no money going to change hands. It's turn to turn, friend to friend. And that's a good way for us to move things around. Oh, Cade tried to correct me here. It's a turn. Cade, tell me what this thing. Oh, that came from Matt. It's a
Term Kreisel.
Term
Kreisel.
Term Kreisel.
He actually did a demonstration for us on it several months ago.
Yeah. So, and that's Cade. Cade's got a lot of talent. He shares it with us. He comes right here. He does pay-per-views. Scott Hampton does them, and others. And they come to us, and we don't pay them. We didn't pay Chris for tonight, mainly because the treasury's broke. But they come to us and share these tips and techniques. And this got started 3.5 years ago by that very idea. In fact, it got started at SWAT 3 years ago when I sat at Ruth Niles's booth. I didn't work for Ruth. She made me wear one of her shirts. But I sat with Ruth Niles Bottle Stoppers. That's now owned by Carl Jacobson and his wife. I sat with her and I answered questions for 3 days. A lot of times I was answering the same question over and over and over again. And then somebody said to me, why isn't there a place where we can all get all this all the time? Here it is. Here it is. And I come to who? You. I come to you to get it. Just like Chris. We went to Chris to get that infill idea. And the Canon idea a couple of weeks ago that we're doing a challenge on around July 4th. That was impromptu by Martin Clarkson out of the UK. In the UK, pardon me. And Martin showed a piece he turned with a little popper thing in it. It was so cool. Had a lot of people go, oh, that's so nice. I can do that. You know, make the cannon, get the little poppers, and put them on the table at July 4th, the picnic table. Just hope you like to eat that confetti because it's going to be everywhere. I might be sorry I haven't told you about that one. But we get those from you, the members. The gnomes we got from Matt Harbor did a gnome for us. It was in our newsletter last month. We have some more for this month. We haven't covered the eggs. I'm hoping somebody will step up and say, let me show you eggs and let me show you some simple holding methods. And that's the key to turning eggs is the holding. Everybody can turn it out of shape orb. We all do. I mean, they big, fat, long, skinny, or whatever. But you'll learn how to shape it. And if you go to the feed store, you can get plastic eggs that match real animal laid chicken eggs to use it for sizing and curves. And don't ask me why not to use regular kitchen eggs in there. No, let's not talk about it. But you can get this. How do you hold it? You start between centers with a stibe chuck and a revolving center. And then what do? You go to a hardware store. It's just that simple. I'm hoping we get somebody to step up and do that. It's a fun project. And your grandkids will love to have eggs for Easter made by grandpa or grandma. And if you've got samples of wood, I did this years and years ago. I started collecting 2x2s, 2-inch by 2-inch by 3 or 4-inch pieces. And I got it from all kinds of turners. I announced it at a club meeting, and the next week the next month I had a 5-gallon bucket of drops. Some plain, some I even got 2x4s. But I got a bucket of drops, and I practiced on how to shape them and how to hold them. And the hard way, by doing it wrong so many times that I realized gotta be an easier way. And that's when I took it down to the hardware store and we played around, came up with a way to hold it. And that's a fairly inexpensive chuck that you don't need a chuck for. The holder can go on a faceplate. The holder can go into a glue block. I hadn't figured out how to make it screw onto the spindle yet, but y'all going to come up with that. I try. You know what? As I said that, I'm thinking Jim Duxbury's probably got one that'll thread onto his headstock.
No, not yet.
He will.
But there's different sized chickens too, there's different shaped chickens. So there's got to be different shaped eggs.
Yeah. We had bandies when my dad raised chickens in the yard.
Yep.
for a long time. We had bandies, a little bit of miniature eggs.
Yeah.
My mom brought them in the first time and said, "Oh, these are cute." She really didn't hit the egg part of what they were. But when we sit down here on Wednesday nights, we sitting on the tailgate of the truck, we telling stories, we lying, we showing our work. We hoping you'll give us an idea. That's all because we're turners and we're sharing. It all came about because of you. And that'll keep going because of you. And I love it. I love it. You make my week. In fact, y'all ruined my Thursdays for me. Straight out. I'm not permitted to be in that room back there. I'm not permitted to be in the shop. I can't do the laser anymore. I can't do the lathe. They're working on this. I got PTSD really bad. So we're working on overcoming that problem, and I'll be able to get back in there. But Wednesday nights, I sit here and watch you. I mean, you pull things out that I never thought about making. I never thought about doing. I mean, this thing with the brass powder. I know about doing brass and aluminum and all. I didn't think about the powders, and I tried to make powder with a belt sander one time. Bad move. But I learned that tonight, and you'll learn some more tonight. But guess what? You have it. You have it right here. We want you to throw it on the table for us. We want you to share it with us. Be part of this. If you've want to do a demonstration, Dane Chandler out of Tucson handles putting our demonstrations together. You can put it in a chat right now. Put it in chat. Say, Dane, I want to do a demonstration on. You can leave it a blank line. You know, hey, once Dane gets the hook in you, he's going to set that hook and you ain't getting away, because we love to get demonstrations by our members, and a variety of them we do. So you might have a simple thing. We did tips and tricks about 4 or 5 months ago, just as a whim. And this guy, Jim, came. I didn't know Jim. He came out from, I would say, nowhere and blew us away. He had tricks and tips for every form of his turning, every form of his holding, cutting, and everything else. And he's amazed us several times since then. And this week I got the most beautiful gift I've received in a very, very long time from Jim. It's I'd show you, but I can't reach it. And my wife put it at the top of my gallery to keep me away from it. But we learn things like that, and it's fun. It really is. So, all right, we got time to start some gallery, folks. Just popping in there. We got some great information in the chat tonight. Oh, if you want to show a gallery, it's open to every single member in the world. No requirements, no limitations. We will never say, I like that butt. Remember, the butt is never permitted. You can't say, I like that butt. I like that. I admire that. I love that. I wish I could do that. There's no buts, because you and I, and nobody else in this entire world can critique our work. Nobody. There's nobody better turned than you are. There's nobody better turned than I am. So I want to show you something. You want to show me something. I'm not going to be offensive and crude and rude and make a critical comment about it. No, I want to see what it is. So go to gallery, put in, I want to show an item in gallery, and Dane will introduce you. And when he does, just start talking. You'll pop up on the screen of 70 plus members right now. And then you have to talk so he can find you. That's how the Zoom works. And thank you, Trace Lynette is providing the service of Zoom. We had the minimum service, and with no budget, we couldn't keep it going without looking for money. Trace stepped up and said, I have this service. I loan it to others. I will loan it to Worldwide Woodturners. And that's how we do this. This is, as they say, on his nickel. And I'd like to thank him for that. That's worthy. That's what we look for. I'm really wanting to see the crotch thing next week, but I think the really interesting gallery or show gallery or art gallery I want to see is the next week when Show Me Your Bottom. I know it sounds like it's sexist. Crotch, show me your crotch, and show me your bottom. Brenda came up. Pardon?
Each sex has a bottom. It's not specified for one particular genre.
I know.
Right?
But I mean, Brenda says
Every girl has a bottom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every top's got
Unless your name's Quintessa.
Now, dang.
Watch out.
Don't get him started. Don't get him started, Eddie.
But Brenda, you did that last week or so. We're talking about Show Me Your Crotch, which is coming up next week. Said, what about the bottoms?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that, and I thought that was a good idea. I went to my gallery in a house, and I've got pieces from all over the world. And the really, really beautiful pieces, the bottom is a compliment to what's turned. The ones that are nice, the compliment might not reflect the beauty of the piece. It's edging, banding, beading, swirls, curly cues, all that. Those are things you can do, and it's easy. I love the laser engraver. I don't think I would use my laser engraver to engrave my work. I turn that work with these. I think I'm going to mark them with these. Same way. And I know, we've got some folks that do some gorgeous work. In our next newsletter, we're going to have something from Billy Dillard's got some an urn. He showed us an urn last week, and now he has an urn an urn for an animal that he put a paw print, the name, and other stuff on. That is gorgeous. It comes out magnificent, laser engraving in it, and makes it's a happy moment. There's your puppy sitting over there on a shelf. So, all right, we're going to go to gallery right now. I see we got some folks lined up.
Oh, yeah,
and
we got a queue coming in.
Let's pop to them, Dane.
All right. Well, let's go to Ron Vincent. Hey, Ron, come on down.
You're muted, Ron.
There, I should be open now.
Now you're on.
You're there.
Okay. Well, I've been looking at YouTube videos on cutting boards, and I like turning. So I thought, what can we do to combine them? And then Brenda said, show me your bottom. So I will. It's a segmented bowl.
Ain't that cool?
That is nice.
Yeah.
So then I thought, well, let's do something a little bit different than that. So we did.
Oh.
Oh,
That's cool.
it hurts my eyes.
Can't just do one. Look at that.
Well, I couldn't. And then once I got two done, it's like, why not a third one that's 3D?
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh, there you
tumbling.
go.
That's a quilt pattern called tumbling blocks.
There you go.
That's pretty, man.
Okay, you win.
Nice pieces.
Yeah. Yeah, you win. I give it to you. There.
Okay.
Nice job, Ron.
Well, all right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nice bottom, Ron.
I'm.
That
All
just
right.
doesn't
Some
sound
different
right.
bottoms though.
Something you don't hear every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna lose our PG rating here real quick. I know that.
Well, not if they judge it against TV. I think we're good.
Oh yeah,
Oh, really?
That's
really?
a fact.
All right, let's go with this character. Hey, Doug.
character.
do.
I like the term character.
Well, we do our best. Got a couple of things. One, I'll start with the new piece. Get it where you can see it. My son had asked me for this at Christmas break. He's a music education major in college, and he has started to do his conducting classes. And so he wanted a conductor's baton. He gave me the dimensions. He wanted a handle a little bigger than what is typical. And this is about almost double the size of normal. Still about an inch in diameter. It's a little longer, a little heavier. That's some Coolabob burl. So it came out pretty nice. I sanded it to 320 like typical, and then did a CA finish on it, then used my abrasive paste and wax, and it came out just really nice. Somebody had asked me about these long ago, and I thought, well, you know, it's difficult to turn that long, straight, skinny piece. Not if you go to the hardware store. That's just basic dowel. And I sanded the tip of it and got it more pointed. But it's a little larger in diameter than most batons are. But most batons break pretty quickly after they're purchased. Conductors hitting them on the music stands, throwing them across the room at students. They break for several reasons. So this one, it can actually be pulled out of the handle. It's not glued in. If he breaks it, we can pull it out, get another piece of dowel, stick it in, paint it, and he's done. And then I wanted to, any questions on that one? I do have a follow-up piece I want to show.
I like that.
Doug did a YouTube video of that. It came out really, really nice. So if y'all want to see what he did,
I do have a question on
check
that.
it out.
I do have a question on that.
Yeah, man.
The square corner you've got on where the handle is, right there, that bit right there. How does that work in the hand? That doesn't add any pressure to it?
It's held
I
here.
I would have rounded that, I think. And so I was just wondering why you did it square like that and if it was a problem at all.
I did not, because I had my tailstock in there for support at the time. It could have been rounded, not a problem, but it's held here.
Okay, what about from a usage perspective? Like
It'll be held right
there. I'm not a conductor. I don't know how to use them, but you know.
It'll be held just like that.
Okay.
Has he used it yet?
It doesn't affect.
Okay.
Hey, Doug, it doesn't affect the trajectory of being tossed now, does it?
It'll be tossed.
Yeah. That's how
Handle
I'm familiar.
first.
That's how I'm familiar with it. So
Yeah. It comes
Have you
at
been
you like
hit
a
by one,
bullet,
Nate?
just like that.
no, I was far too agile.
So they have been thrown at you.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
When he asked me about making this, turn it that way so you can see it. When he asked me about making this, the handle was only about so long on the one he was showing me, and he didn't like it because it sat way back in his hand. This will sit better, and it's a little larger in diameter, so it'll feel better to him in his hand. So I'm looking forward to him seeing it here in about 2 weeks.
So Doug,
Cool.
was he down in his shop and giving up his hand, for mocking it up?
He actually, but just before he left to go back to school, he and I were sitting in here while we were watching TV, and he had the tape measure and his other one and trying to figure out exactly what he wanted. So, it could be that he gets it and he says, no, I was wrong. I want it small. Okay, I'll just pull the handle off and make something else. Not a big deal.
Next iteration.
I don't know what, 3-4 weeks ago, I showed you all this bowl. Real lightweight, weighs like 2.5 ounces, something like that. And it had a major problem down here in the bottom, a big spot that was flat. There's no flat spot in that finish anymore. I told you I was going to put it back on the vacuum chuck and sand it out, and I did. Took it down to raw wood. It's now got, I don't know, I lost count how many coats of lacquer in that bottom. But it's got, and I don't think there you can just start to see them just above that glare. You can see it looks like little bumps. They're actually little divots. And that's where that flat spot was. So I'm still working on it. I'm doing like 3-4 coats of lacquer and then using the Scotch-Brite pads to buff it back before I add 3-4 more coats. And they're almost gone. They're almost gone. So much better than what it was. And there's no of those big patches where there's no finish at all. That was starting to look good. And I started to look at the backside and it was looking a little ragged. So I've got 2 or 3 coats on there as well. Sanded it back and put 3 or 4 coats on. But
Mr. Perfectionist.
Well, Brenda, it's not even that. It's just, when it's not right, it's not right. It's kind of like the curve that Chris was talking about a while ago. When that curve's not right, it's not right. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what you need to do. This was an easy one to figure out what to do. I just needed to
Yeah.
sand it back and start again. And that's what I've done.
Nice job. Most of you guys, just all of you remind me of my brother. He's a perfectionist. Just total opposite.
Very good. All right, thanks,
Nice
Doug.
job.
Thanks, guys.
All right. Hey, Billy.
There he is.
Hi. I've been working on another one of these.
Oh my.
This time I made all of the pieces again glued up into one board, a 1/2 inch thick. I made all the pieces a little bit thinner. I thought, hey, that'll be a whole lot better. Well, you may notice there's only a 1/2 ring up here. There's a reason for that. Anyway, it was coming out really nice. This is only about a 1/16 of an inch thick, which isn't thick enough, by the way. And it was a little taller.
Oh, no.
And I had 4 pieces at the very end of the grain. This was the middle of the bowl. And so I had 4 pieces, one here, and the same 2 boards on the opposite side actually blew out. And it's, like I said, you can see it's a 1/16 of an inch thick. But why they blew out, I have no idea. So not being happy with that, I went ahead and shortened it and parted it off. And when I parted it off, I had some more blowout. So I had to keep going until it was nice and smooth. But that's one of the 2 that I've done this week. The other one I will show y'all next week.
Good. Interesting YouTubes.
Nice.
Thank you.
I saw YouTube shorts. They're nice.
Thank you.
All right. Well, let's go to Dave. He's got a question. So let's go to Dave Kingsley.
Hi. I'm
Got
here.
Hello, Dave.
Hi. This is probably a silly question, and I don't know. I have a Reeves drive lathe, and the minimum speed on it is like 500. And that's just insane for some things. And I'm wondering, can I get away with using something like a VFD on that to slow it down when I need to? Or am I asking for trouble?
You
Probably
can
trouble.
if you have a 3-phase motor, you can do that. If you don't have a 3-phase motor, it won't work.
Oh, it won't work. Oh, well. I guess I'm out of luck.
And
I have an old Harbor Freight that I put a treadmill motor on, and I can slow things down, but it's smaller and I can't get the same diameter of pieces.
Right.
What I've done is I had an old Delta lathe, and I took a 3-phase, 3 horsepower motor and put a VFD on it, and it worked great. You have to pair up a 3-phase motor with the variable frequency drive, and if you go over about 1.5 horses, you have to go to 220, but it can be done.
Yeah, but what by the same token, if I were to convert a Reeves drive lathe to VFD, I would get rid of the Reeves drive and go straight VFD all the way.
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what I did with the one that I have, the
Harbor Freight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that works great. Yeah, because I gained a reverse too, which is really handy at times.
Your treadmill motor is probably DC though.
Yes.
Typically.
Yeah. A DC motor has to spool up. A DC motor gets its torque in the upper third of its range, whereas an AC motor, 3-phase, its torque curve is pretty much linear. It goes up like a 45-degree angle. So your DC motors have their limitations. You pretty much have to run them at high speed.
Right.
Yes.
You lose the torque at the low speeds, you'll stall out on your larger pieces.
Oh.
And those, the VFDs are not all that difficult to program, by the way. I had to replace the VFD on my 3520 and I got it programmed and it's working just fine.
I actually got one from KB Controls. They call it a hybrid, and it's all programmed and everything. All you got to do is hook the wires up. It's got the dials on it and switches, and a one for a 1 horsepower motor runs about 250, and it works great. I have that on my small lathe. I've got a 10-inch Vicmark lathe, and I put a 1 horsepower AC motor on there with a VFD, and it works great.
Cool.
Dave, I know I have a shortcut you can take. Say Safety Sue said last week, there's a website you can go post some of that stuff on, and it come with fantastic answers like, you know, what speed should I change my tool post at? And things like that. if you're looking for a way not to do it, go there. Because right here you're talking to folks who have done it, you know, and I'm really opposed to somebody say, well, maybe it will cook you off. My one way the VFD got wet during Hurricane Katrina. And I sent it back to one way, and they rebuilt it for me. And when it came back, it was wired differently. And when I talked to the guys at one way, he says, yeah, wired differently. Yours must have been changed by somebody else because this is our original program. And he might be right. So, you know, when you go back, when you have to make these adjustments or put these things together, let's talk to the manufacturers and see if Apple matches Apple, Baker matches Baker, such and such. Because that maybe you'll try this. As somebody said, it's a $250 VFD. You toast it, it's going. You can't get a return on it like at Walmart. I mean, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So
well, I figured asking here, I'm confident that you folks have a pretty good idea of what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
I'm going to post the website for KB Controls in the chat, and that may answer a lot of your questions. And those are great people. You talk to them on the phone, and they're real helpful. So,
well, thank you.
Thank you, Dave or Robert.
Yep.
Good luck on that, Dave.
Oh yeah, thanks. I need it.
Yeah.
Pop in to get somebody else up for gallery tonight. Let's see who you have up next, Dane. Oh no!
We've got
Where's the door?
this guy. Somebody already pulled him in.
All right, let me go grab it right quick. It's right here. Let me blow the dust off of it. All right, so that's the bowl that we made last week with the hollow roller.
Nice.
I like it.
Let's see if that helps. Okay. Is that better?
Cool.
There we go.
Nice.
All right.
Looks good.
So this is for Brenda. I'm going to start turning it, Brenda. You tell me when you see the little dog.
I see it. I see it.
You see
What
a
do you
dog?
see?
Well, that's a different dog. That's not the dog.
I see a poodle.
I saw a Scotty dog.
Yeah, I saw the Scotty too.
I thought it was a princess.
There's another
There's a
dog.
dog. I see a dog. A Scotty dog. Yep. Right there.
Actually, it looks like it reminds me of the RCA dog with his head cocked to the side.
I really like the cavity, Doug.
Nice.
So that was a lot of fun. I really should have gone deeper. I chickened out and thought, oh, I'm getting too deep. And the bottom's considerably thicker than the sides. Oops. Oh, well. But it's cool. So
What did you finish it with?
it shined up and everything. That's just sanding sealer and spray on lacquer.
I see a bunny rabbit.
What's up, buddy? Let me go.
Right
Somewhere
there.
in here.
Bunny
You
rabbit.
do know y'all are scaring off the new members. Don't,
Here, Peter Cottontail. Down the bunny trail. Hippity.
Oh, my word.
yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
too
I
much.
think he needs to go back into the army.
Next.
Or hang out with some older kids.
He didn't retire, they put him out.
Don't give up your
Section
day
8.
job, bud.
All right, let's go to Roger. Hey, Roger. You got to follow that up now.
Yeah, I'm here.
Don't start dancing, Roger, whatever you do.
Okay, I've turned 2 bowls this week, and the first one I got it all finished, and the piece broke out of it.
Huh.
So is that something that I should go back and make like an epoxy and fill this area back in, or just leave it like that?
Let me tell you what I would do, Roger. I'd get my craft torch out and I'd burn the top of the rim all the way around and then burn that edge too.
Okay.
And make it like it was planned.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Leave it like
Okay.
it is, man. That looks good.
You got it, and you have an alien in the bowl bottom, in the bowl there.
The other one, I haven't completely finished it yet, but I've got cracks in it that are, let's see if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's more of a crack than what he was showing for refilling.
Oh, you still can.
Yeah, you
could
can.
put some brass key filings in those cracks to accent them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now will that work up here where it's cracked and it went all the way through?
If you were using epoxy, you could use like masking tape, okay? And mask both sides and let it, fill in through the top or whatever. I mean, you'd have to make it so you could dam it so it wouldn't flow all over everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could add anything. You could use any of the powders we showed tonight to the epoxy, brass or aluminum. You could use coffee grounds. You could use shavings from your shop.
Powdered shells, anything.
Yeah. Yeah. I saved colored dust when I was turning pens. So I had like little files of red dust and green dust and blue dust. You can, any kind of dust or anything, small particles you could add in there.
Yes.
With epoxy.
Right.
So
I
that's
mean,
one option.
You can even
One
go to
thing I
Harbor
did with
Freight.
a bowl like that I had like that was I took it and I carved scallops around the top, and the scallops with the depth of where the crack was, and then just put like 7 or 8 scallops around the top.
That's
I
a pretty
remember
cool
that ball.
idea,
That was
Bob.
cool. That was good.
I'd turn the first inch down, get rid of the cracks up there on top.
Okay.
Save
That must
yourself
be
the
weird.
effort.
That must be weird because I like the cracks. I think they add character to the bowls.
Hey, Roger, you could put some shipping tape on one side and then use that filling technique that we saw this evening, and then pull that shipping tape off and you'll have a layer all the way through. I've done that with epoxy or with the fillers also.
Yeah, you could even use like milliput.
Yeah. Blue painter's
Yeah,
tape
clay.
works as well. I use blue painter tape as a dam all the time.
I used the blue painter's tape and it won't stick.
Really?
Right.
Yeah. And then it leaks.
Yeah.
I found it.
You gotta
I
make
found
sure
it-
you gotta make sure it's on there good.
I found
Painter's
it.
tape doesn't stick for a reason.
You can make 6 good bowls in the time it takes you to fix that crack.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
Jim's got a good point there too.
Thank you, Jim.
But what else do I have to do?
Have fun with it. Have fun with it.
Oh,
Yeah. There's
another
always
bowl.
more wood, and life is too short to turn junky
I don't
wood.
even look sideways at those things.
Nah.
Well, this wood came from a tree that was on my brother's property. And after he passed away, the property got sold, and it's right next door to where I live.
Well, there you go.
And-
You can't get rid of it.
Yeah, the person said I could have some of the walnut wood that was there. So I've been starting turning some of it. So we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah. Have fun with it.
You could
Yeah.
always,
All right,
you
thanks.
could always create, Roger, create your slacker stack and just set it there and come back to it later.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Slackers.
Looks good, Roger. Just, yeah. You fall on them cracks, that's, I've got a lot of wood that's cracked and I end up filling a lot of it.
Okay.
It's all about what you're in this for. If you're in this to have a good time, enjoy yourself, experiment, keep experimenting. Everything you heard tonight, somebody else's opinion. Think about how much time and effort you want to put into it. It's a challenge. I'd be feeling that thing and playing with it. I would. I love that kind of a challenge.
You can do something different with each one of the cracks or each one of the holes.
Don't read my mind, Brenda. All right. Thank you, Roger.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, I'm just curious as to what this gentleman has. Always something wonderful. Hey, Ray.
How you doing? Okay, I'm muted myself. Everybody can hear me?
Yes,
we
sir.
can hear you.
Okay, well, I kind of got away from my soccer ball and I got back to doing some other stuff. Pigmented.
Oh, nice.
That's pretty.
Look at the shine on that thing.
What'd you finish it with?
That's water-based poly. And then probably about 6 to 8 coats of that and 400 sand in between every 3 coats. And then the polishing grit and the wax on top of that.
Very pretty.
Wow.
You certainly did a good job with it.
Thank you.
Certainly did.
Yeah.
Never disappoints.
Is that Purple Heart?
Yes, that's Purple Heart.
I've
Hope it
never
don't
seen
turn
Purple
brown.
Heart shine like that. That is gorgeous.
You finished that on the lathe?
Yes, I did. Yeah, the whole thing was finished on the lathe. Even the bottom and the
Must have your lathe up for a week or a month, in my
I'm
case.
kind of lucky I got 2 lathes, so.
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. That's why you have more than one lathe.
Yep.
Right.
one for finishing, huh?
Nice.
Now, one for small stuff, and then my Rikon lathe is the big one that will do a 30-inch bowl if I wanted to.
Goodness sakes.
So, Ray, what else the woods? We know we got Purple Heart. What else is it?
Okay, it's got Wingay as the dark stuff. It's maple, Wingay, and Purple Heart. That's the only thing that's in it.
Very pretty.
Very nice.
What's the
Great combination.
is the bottom is maple too?
Yes, it's yes.
Okay. It's
Yes,
just
it
a
is
little
maple.
darker. I was curious.
May have been from a different board, but
Yeah.
it is maple.
Hey, Ray, hey, can I ask you, what you, the little, what they look like 1/4-inch little slats.
Right.
So when you glued that all together, so was it what, maybe 3/4 of an inch thick? To make your segments.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I used, I was hoping it was a 4/4 board. But unfortunately, the Wingay was 3/4. And so I just made sure I had plenty on the outside. And I finished it thin enough that it worked out. But when I do something like this, I'll take the maple here and I'll glue one Wingay on the side of that, and the same with the over here. And then that's when I put that all together. I make a long board with all this in there, and then cut it at the proper angle. I can't use a wedgie sled on this one because these are too
high.
So I had to tilt the blade on the table saw to cut those. But the top is with a wedgie sled and the other ring here. It went pretty quick.
I'll tell you what,
It was something my wife wanted.
That's a gorgeous piece. That's just gorgeous.
That is really pretty.
Yes,
Thank
it
you.
is.
That is, I mean, I only know a little bit segmenting, and I know enough that I know what you went through.
Well, I love this. I love segmented, and my next one's going to be sailboats. Sailboat in each one of these.
Can't wait to see
Cool.
it.
Oh,
Can't
my.
wait to see it.
Wow.
It sounds like a demo.
Keeps me sane.
Jeez. I can see the reflection of your screen in that thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gorgeous.
Stuff. Never disappoints. Thanks, Ray.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Matt, you get to follow Ray.
I can do that. I can do that.
Oh
There you
my.
go.
Oh, that's pretty.
So I've shown this. I've shown this before. This is a
That's
single
nice,
piece of
man.
maple. The leaves are all carved. But what I wanted to show was what I did to the bottom. Okay, so I've got a very clean line that goes all the way to the base here. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's just ever so slightly raised above the base. And then that's what the bottom looks like. So, and you guys know that I believe in spending a lot of time getting the bottoms looking very sharp.
Yeah.
So I did that on this. So that's one way to do it. And I'm delighted with how very slight this little raise is right here at the, where it joins the base. So anyway, that's my bottom.
Nice.
Very nice.
Another nice
How long this
bottom.
took.
I thought the bottoms were next week.
2 weeks.
Oh, 2 weeks.
Yeah, more
That's
like
right.
4 weeks.
That's right. Crotch is next week.
Yep.
Directions, Some
Yeah.
people follow them. Some people abuse them. All right, let's go to this guy. Greenhouse Bob.
Hey, how's everybody tonight?
Hey, Bob.
Wow. Been a
Haven't
while.
seen from Bob for a while.
This is a surprise, but I got a couple of birdhouses I did this week.
Oh, nice.
Pretty.
They used some
That monitor.
spectraply,
Nice.
and I've got this one where I took I offset the top.
Yeah.
Made
That's
a big
cute.
front porch out of it.
I like
Looks
the way
like
it's done
Sherlock
that.
Holmes.
Yeah, Sherlock Holmes.
That done first off too.
Yeah,
Oh my goodness.
this is my circus one with the rings on the top.
The circus one.
That's
See the
And I've got a
I can't see
platter
the
that I
box.
did out of maple,
Ooh,
about 16 inches. I don't know if you can
Very
see.
nice.
Like
That's
this.
pretty.
texture.
Is the
Ooh.
bottom, I did a rim, 2 rings, and then recess it, did texture, and then carved it out here.
Oh my
Nice.
goodness.
And I used a round microplane carver that fits in a drill. So that's a lot easier than it looks like.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And I've got this is my coffee cup. I didn't turn it this week.
Well, why not?
Oh.
I turned it last week.
Oh my.
You guys are all comedians.
That's all I got for tonight.
Well, that's quite a bit there. Did a good job.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
Nice, Bob.
Good to be back.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to Howard King. Hey, Howard.
Well, I'm glad I went before Howard instead of after Howard.
Hello.
Hey,
Howard.
Good evening. I hate to fault Birdhouse Bob. He does a great job. Beautiful stuff. I got a piece of mesquite here that a guy gave me.
Wow.
And
Oh, yeah.
it's a crotch piece, so I'm showing my crotch tonight rather than wait till next week. So
Turn that upside down, it'd be a good birdhouse roof.
There you go. Well, that's a good idea. That's a good
Only
idea.
Bob, only Birdhouse Bob could come up with that.
Yeah.
Turn it sideways and it looks like a big bird's beak.
Looks more like
Yeah.
Daffy
Say,
Duck.
ah.
Or a crocodile.
Like Daffy Duck running his trap.
Yeah.
What you got there?
But anyway,
How
when I got
stay
finished,
together when you were turning it.
when I got finished with it, I should have put a pestle on this. I didn't. So, you know, yeah.
Next week.
What kind of issues did you have with it being such a long ends on the crotch? Did you have a lot of flex or anything when you were turning it?
Apparently not. Apparently not. In fact, I was kind of surprised that it came out like that, and I still have my fingers, I think.
Yeah.
No Band-Aid.
I still have my nose.
That's
wonderful.
Wow.
That propeller noise had to be something though.
Yeah, it was. I look back on it and I say, what was I thinking?
How wide is it across at the top?
What tool did you use to get down in there?
I got a Jameson hollowing outfit that helped me get down in here, but I used a bowl gouge all the way down as far as I could.
Wow.
Wow.
And
How wide is it across the top of it?
As long as you keep the tool rest and the gouge on the inside, you're fine.
Yeah, as long as you can stay in here. If you get out here somewhere, you're in trouble. You're in bad trouble.
It only hits one time.
One time's enough, and of course, you know, you put thin CA glue in the bark, and now that's about like razor sharp. So
That's what I was thinking. Razor sharp.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway,
Did you turn the inside or the outside first?
Outside first.
How wide is it from tip to tip?
It's 14 inches here.
Ooh. Wow.
And 11 inches tall.
You're a brave man.
5 inches across here. And
wow.
I was trying to run just to get the pith on the outside, turn it off, but I didn't hear. I couldn't adjust because I was trying to get these equal. So I got the pith running up. I was trying to, does that make sense? I was trying to get the pith where I could turn it on.
Yeah.
You did a good job. You did a good job.
It looks great, Howard.
But trying to match it up, I couldn't. I was stuck with that there.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe so, but that gives it more character too.
Yeah.
right.
Fortunately, the pith and mesquite is a lot more stable than some of the other softwoods out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love this mesquite. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful.
yeah.
The yellow and the brown is just wow.
Yeah.
God's
It's
creation.
definitely a showstopper.
You know,
Right.
it's God's creation.
Yep.
We just expose it.
Mhm.
That's all we're
And
doing.
you done it justice.
Well, thank you.
He just turned away everything that didn't look like a vase.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyway, well, thank you.
All right. Thanks, Howard.
Thanks, Howard.
All right. Well, I know Mr. Duxbury's got something cool to see.
Look at that smile.
Smile, Jim.
Jim's got something. I think, Gary, this is as far as I go to fixing cracks and things. This is I put a finial in here. I turned this over, this cracked, I turned it over, set it on my bandsaw and get it lined up the way the crack is and cut the crack out and then set a finial in there.
Like a handle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway.
Nice.
Very nice and decorative.
Your spoon from dropping.
I made one. It was gorgeous, and I I got all done and it cracked and my wife said, you can't throw that out. So I started doing this and I've done that for a few of them, but
It's a good idea.
Very
nice. We're talking about making musical instruments. I had to learn AutoCAD to do drawings. So, and the guy that taught me was a drummer. And I thought, oh, I'll make him a set of drumsticks. But it gets, once you get into this, you find out it's a real science. Everybody likes different shape, size, diameters, ends, you know, weighted, and it goes on and on. Anyway, I made him a set of drumsticks and I wasn't too sure. I put inlays in here. These are maple with cherry and yellow heart inlays.
Nice.
And I thought they were kind of neat, and he got them, and he won't use them. So I don't know. He said they're too nice to use, so he isn't going to use them.
Yeah.
Anyway, and the other thing, this is a pepper grinder. Everybody makes pepper grinders. This is turned on 3 centers, and so you can get a hold of it and turn it.
Nice.
Cool idea.
And
it's really pretty.
It's got a Wenge and yellow heart in what is this? Sapelli, I think it is. And the top is hollowed out, and it's a salt shaker in the top.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Nice idea.
So you can
Multi-purpose.
yeah, so you can get grinder and chop. We use it all the time, but you won't see another one. It took me too long to make this.
Good for you, Jim. Good for you.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Jim.
I have enough fun with just one center.
Oh, Lord. Having too much fun. All right. Chris, you still there? Chris Nellen?
Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hear
you
ya.
can turn your video on.
Okay. I got a new camera, so I wasn't sure. So,
We can't see you yet.
Your
Chris.
mic, there you go.
Nope,
Here.
that's Chris Parker. Chris Nealon. That's who we're looking for.
I am over here.
Yes.
Don't find me.
Keep
Working
talking,
on it.
Chris.
There you
There
go.
he is.
There you go.
Hey, Billy. So, it's turn my sound off so I don't echo back on you.
You're good.
Basic beach bowl, a little bit of spalting, not much, just a little spalting.
Right.
And it's about 9 inches by 4 inches deep. And
Nice.
still have to finish the bottom. Finish with Danish oil. And I
Hold
put,
up a little higher.
oops, sorry, new cameras, not a different spot. Danish oil with Hampshire shearing gloss finishing wax. And I don't know what it is, but I've had this finished now for about 6 weeks. And boy, it still stinks. I don't know whether it's the wood or the wax. But it's
Has to
sour.
be the
Someone
wax.
put milk in it. So,
I,
we'll let it air out for a few more months and see what it is.
I love
If it
spalted
stops,
beach.
then we'll throw it out.
Definitely.
Did
Don't you throw that
right
out?
on.
No, I won't. I got someone who wants to buy it, but I won't sell it to him until it stops smelling.
Put it, hey, Chris,
Yes,
put
sir.
it in a container and then cover it with kitty litter, unscented kitty litter.
Oh, good idea.
Volamite absorb the odor, might help you out.
Okay. Either that or I'll put codfish soup in it. That's all I got.
Nice.
All right.
Very nice.
Good to Craig.
Very pretty, Chris.
Hey, good evening, all.
Hey,
Well,
Chris.
I got a few issues and stuff. I'm going to start with a win first off, though. I showed this unfinished, and it's finished now, obviously.
Nice, Sean.
But I did a lot of, like I told you before, with the coffee and the key grindings and stuff.
Mhm.
This fall coffee here and coffee right here. And then on the inside,
these stripes are all coffee that were, there were cracks, and I filled them with that. And I really like that. I mean, it looks natural, and that's my biggest thing. I like it to look natural. So, and I found,
Decaf or regular?
huh? Oh no,
Decaf or regular?
There's no sense in buying decaf.
That's very true.
But one thing I did find out is I had been signing on the bottom of my bowls with a pen. Shellac don't like that. So now I'm burning my information in there with a wood burner. I also finished this guy. Problem with my camera too. I like it, but I've still got an issue with it that I'm going to show you in a second here. Is this bowl is still I'm in a process of finishing, but I've tried to do something more on the center of it and everything to give it a little bit more character. The problem I'm having, and I started out with the 2-pound shellac mix, and this little dish that I built that I made, it was so ripply with everything. Tonight I took and I just put it on a level spot, and I filled it with my Everclear and brushed it just to get rid of all the ripples and bumps and everything, because that 2-pound mix, I just really had a problem with that. It was just too thick, I guess. And anybody that's using shellac, I'd like input on that. I'm thinking I need to go ahead and just take more coats, but go ahead and go with the 1-pound mix.
Personally, I use 1/4 pound.
1/4 pound, okay.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot more coats, but at least you don't get. The thing I was having with this was it would look good in the center and be nice and even, but as you go up on the side, you have gravity working on it, and it would just ripple, and you'd have thin spots and you'd have thick spots. And I still haven't on this one. I don't know if you can see, but I have spots in here that it just doesn't. I don't know if that helps any. Yeah, I think it's hot. But I have spots where it doesn't seem like the shellac holds, but it still keeps holding on to the thicker spots. So I have like here where it's been shellac nicely, but it's not glossy like the rest of them. So like I said, I was thinking I need to go to 1/4 pound or 1-pound mix, but I may have to go to 1/2 or 1/4 pound, just like you were saying.
Thin would be better.
Yeah, I'm learning that this one here came out nice, but I actually took and I poured Everclear, because it was so rippled and everything too. I poured Everclear in and just let it evaporate, and I brushed it before it started evaporating, and then re-shellacked it after that. So,
Chris,
is there a reason you're using Everclear?
Huh?
Or is there a particular reason to use Everclear?
Yeah, so it's food safe. Because evidently, if you use some of the others like your isopropyl or the denatured, it's got I don't know, hard metals, or it's got other chemicals that make it not food safe. I mean, the shellac when it dries is fine, but if it chips and you start getting some of the material that the metals don't evaporate, from what I understand. So, and that's what they put that stuff in, so you can't drink it.
Yeah, they did that for Betty Dukakis.
Well, how about that?
There you go.
Craig, keep in mind that, and I learned this a long time ago, and I believe it. Shellac is a builder. It's not a finish. It is good for sealing, building, stacking, creating a smoother surface, et cetera, et cetera. But almost all shellac will react to the oils in your skin. So you get looking shiny and beautiful, And then your brother-in-law comes in and says, "Oh yeah, look at this, look at this, look at this," and he leaves that little bit of skin oil on there. It will deteriorate to a degree. So
Okay.
consider you have filled it and smoothed it. It might be time to look at a clear coat. Like I like Deft lacquer in a spray can if
Yeah.
I'm going to do it off the lathe. And if you hold that can back, and I don't exaggerate, 2 feet from the piece when you missed it on there,
So get a real light.
yeah, it'll atomize and go right to it and really give you a great looking finish. And it's hard enough for you to buff it out if you get some wrinkles or whatever in it.
Okay, well, I've actually got a couple beehives that I just started them last year. Hopefully I'll be, along with honey, I'll be harvesting some beeswax. And, what about something like that? Because there's wax in the shellac. So I'm thinking that the beeswax could possibly be a good top coat on top of that as well.
Gotta look at
it's not a durable finish. Wax
The
or
beeswax.
shellac. It'll still.
It will move. It will move if that thing gets the wrong. If it gets into a room with a light on half of it and light off the other half of it, it will move and distort.
Well, I'm learning.
I would honestly think about a harder coating. Now you could put, and I have put CA over top of shellac, but I've done it mainly on bottle stoppers and pens and smaller things that spindle held. I don't hesitate with the spray lacquers, and even if it's on the machine and I still do it while it's round, I will do it with 50-50 lacquer. 50.
Okay, my concern is making sure that if I sell them that they are food safe for the bowls and the dishes and everything. So if I start putting lacquers and everything else on it, then all of a sudden I lose that food safe quality, right?
So
Won't
Craig, I don't think a person could eat hand to mouth enough to even register in your system.
Also, won't shellac go white? Get it wet?
Yes, it will.
I don't think it work at all.
It's the worst thing in the world to put on a tabletop instead of glass on it, because you have to wait for all that moisture to come out. There's nothing else to do except wait for the moisture to come out.
Yeah, well, I understand that. I mean, I'm trying my first vase. It's still in my workshop right now, and it's obviously not going to be going with a food safe coating. I'll probably go ahead and go back to my polyurethane for that. But one other thing that you guys recommended a couple weeks ago was when I had cracks and I was putting the CA glue and I was complaining about the staining of the wood. I want to thank you so much, because even the vase I'm working on right now, it had a lot of cracks. It's some of that fog oak that I've got and everything. And it's got a lot of cracks. So I put a thin coating of the shellac on there before I applied my CA glue. And it when I put it back on the lathe and everything, or if I do it on the lathe, it just cleans up so much nicer because I got that undercoat of the shellac. So I really appreciate that, because it was starting to bug me.
Well, our demonstrator tonight, Chris Parker, showed us where he uses a sealer of some sort before he put the metal inlays.
I was a little bit late.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure our master webmaster is going to excerpt that out of our regular program and post it on our website, so you can see just that little part if you'd like.
All right. But I'm really glad that I was told about this group, because I've learned a lot just in the short time I've been with you guys.
Well, we got the best in the world. We got the best in the world in members. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Craig.
I guess that's about it for me. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Craig.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you.
All right. Charlie Bundy, come on down.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
You're here.
I hear you.
I see
Yeah. Can you
About
find
bouncing
me?
around.
There you go. Well, I made some more little bud vases out of apple wood.
Beautiful.
You did
I
say
made-
bud vases, right? Not butt.
Bud, B-U-D.
Okay.
What kind of bud?
Made a cross.
What kind
That's
of bud?
just two 2x fours glued together and turned.
Nice.
And then I made my very first gnome.
Yeah.
That's got the same body shape I have.
It's like he just had a trim.
Yeah. Well, I didn't use fur. That is rifle case lining.
Okay.
What did you say it was?
Rifle, gun case lining.
Like faux fleece.
Yeah, fleece. I used to do a lot of leather tooling. Made lots of rifle cases. Have lots left over. Now I got a use for it.
Cute.
And he's got a acorn on his top.
That's cool, Charlie.
Yes, he does. Cute.
Nut.
That's all I have.
Nut on the lid.
Thank you,
Right on.
Charlie.
Yep.
All
I
right.
see Safety Sue joined us tonight. She's in the house. I gotta say, she's in the house.
Yes, she is.
And
Yes,
earlier, I mentioned Cade Bolger for that pay-per-view he's got coming up on the IRD. And Cade's just joining us now. We'll look for Cade, do a little show and tell with us a little bit later. So we're going to continue with gallery, but a minute ago, we just a little while ago, we saw the bottom of somebody's piece. And we have some challenges going on, ongoing right now. And this is what we're looking at coming up in the next couple of months. We're going to have a little fun. And I'm trying to get it. I got to find the right button. There it is. Next week, we're going to have one called Show Me Your Crotch. And Doug Rowe is exact. We don't want Doug Rowe in this challenge at all. Okay. We all rated PG, Doug. We all rated PG. But the very next week.
Overruled. I'll be there.
He made a very nice bowl or something this week on Facebook. That was a crotch piece.
Yes, he did. He did. Now, the week after, Brenda Thornton came up with this last week, said, what we talk about, show me your crotch. How about your bottoms? Now, we just looked at a couple of pieces and the members showed us how they finished off the bottoms. I mean, Matt showed us how he put that little a double sweep in there to conceal or accent the tenon that he has on there. And then what you do for the bottom, that's going to be show your bottoms February 22nd. Matt Harbor showed us to do some gnomes a while back. We're going to do gnomes from March 15th. And then for Easter week, we're going to lace them with eggs. Here's your chance to make some wooden eggs, make them out of any kind of material you want. I don't care if it's 2x4. You can have fun with it, decorate them and all, and then give them away to the grandkids, nieces and nephews. Have a little fun with it. That's going to come up on April 5th. And then we have a cannon challenge. Martin Clarkson showed us a couple of weeks ago a cannon he built with a little confetti popper in it, made for a fun thing. I'm telling you to make them, put them on a table for 4th of July, and really enjoy them. Plates and platters are coming up in August, late August, and that's just before Labor Day. And just in today, somebody said, "Can we do jewelry?" Sure, we can. We certainly can do jewelry, and we're looking for tips, hints, and demonstrations to go along with all these. So if you've got a demonstration you can do on any of those items and you like to do them for, it's not that difficult. I mean, Doug Miller does his, not that they're easy for Doug. Doug does them with a cell phone. Dane Harbert on a cell phone. We've had other people show, and probably tonight Chris was on his cell phone. So you don't need a lot of equipment. You don't need a big buildup in a recording studio and all that. Most of this can be shot on your cell phone, and you can edit it on your computer if you want to make a roll or a tape or a YouTube out of it or whatever. It's so nice how this world is going with that technology. And we're looking forward to you getting involved and sharing with us what you can do. Every week I come away with something else that just completely amazes me. And I look forward to it. I mean, I think tonight that Jim Duxbury showed us, took a crack, put a piece of finial in it. Okay. Now I'm hoping somebody else will say, oh, look what I can do with this. So that's why we do this. Really, what can you come up with? What did you come up with? What do you think is a nifty tip or a trick or whatever? That's what we're looking for. We're still doing gallery. It's here. We got a little bit of time to go tonight. If you want to show something, please pop in and say so. Put it right there in our chat. I have something to show. Dane will introduce you. When Dane introduces you, start chatting. You see, it's you at that time. And if you're chatting, we can find you in the gallery much easier because you turn yellow. And that's how we find you. So let's go back to gallery. Dane's got it up. What's up, sir?
Well, at the moment, we don't have anyone.
Oh, no.
Heather,
Unless I've missed.
Oh,
Heather
man.
just came on and said she's back.
Is Heather back?
Yes, she
I'm
just
back.
came back on.
I'm back.
Okay,
Here I am.
Okay, I'll
Hi.
come back to you. Doug's got a question here. Go ahead,
Okay.
Doug.
Hey, I just
Great.
wanted to say with the people making the jewelry, I am a team player. I don't know how to make jewelry, but if you make the jewelry, send it to me ahead of time. I'll demonstrate how to wear it for you guys. I will do that for the club. So you make the earrings, then I'll wear them during the demo while you make another set. I think the club would really get a lot more out of it that way.
No, Doug.
Maybe some lip piercing.
Somebody
I
needs to
haven't
make
had
a man bun
No,
clip.
Doug.
a
No,
nose
Doug.
ring. I'm just here to help. I'm just
Are
here to
your ears pierced, Doug?
They're actually not, but now that I'm retired, I might.
We
be willing
can
to
fix
do
that.
for the club.
Y'all are encouraging him. You shouldn't do that.
I
told
think you gotta have a man bun clip.
That hey,
No.
a line. I've made that clear. I will never have a man bun. I will wear dresses. I'll wear bikini for you. I am here for your entertainment, but I draw the line at a man bun. It's never going to happen.
Thank you. We got to go to Heather because she had to go back to work. We don't want to miss her. There she is.
Hi,
There she
Hey, Heather.
is.
here
Hurry
I
up before
am.
she gets called out again.
It's okay. I have a half-hour break now. I'm good. Okay, so this is one I made.
Nice.
I made this one the other day, actually about a month ago. I didn't do a video of this one, but it's spalted beech. No,
That
spalted
is-
birch, sorry.
It's really pretty.
It's
Nice.
nice. It's gorgeous.
Did it go
I
out
like
long?
it. Oh, it's
Did it go
beautiful.
out long?
No, it didn't. It's just
Oh.
a
Very nice.
optical illusion.
Okay.
I love the black
Nice.
line spalt in that too. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really nice on the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah.
you
There's
see
a
a whale
heart.
there. I see a shark on the bottom.
Oh, man.
shark.
See that heart? I see a whale right there.
I see a squid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a squid
Yeah, I
right
see the
there.
squid.
Yeah, I see the squid for sure.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous.
See what
It's not very big. It's
What's your bottom? You show us your
Pardon?
bottom. We'll fix things.
There's my bottom.
Another nice bottom.
I didn't sign it yet. You still have to sign that one.
Twist it
And-
turn just a little bit. Turn, little bit. Turn.
That way. That way.
Turn. Little more. Little more. Now
On the side.
tip it. Tip the top towards us.
That the top's over here.
Top of the whole, what you're holding it.
I love that. I love that. They had a guy. I love that. Okay.
You did a good
Nice.
job of hollowing it out. too.
Yeah, it looks great, Heather.
Yes.
Actually, it's pretty rough. It was starting to rot pretty, it was almost beyond use. It's pretty rough inside, but hey, it is what it is.
It is still beautiful.
Yeah.
And that other piece.
I got a
that
nice
next-
finish on the outside.
Yes,
That's all that matters. Okay, and here's the other piece Matt was talking about. He saw it on
Yes.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Yes.
That turned out
A lot
fantastic.
bigger online.
Yes.
Needed one I've tried.
Great piece.
Yeah, I saw a video on that where you were doing it.
And there's my bottom.
Beautiful.
The bottom's the same as the top.
And I had some really good photographs of that being next month's in the newsletter. Already loaded.
Yeah,
them.
I sent them through today.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's my first one and I really like making it. So I'm definitely gonna make more of these.
Cool.
Very nice.
Yeah. I've already sold this one too. I put it on Facebook today and it's gone. It's already sold.
Nice.
I totally believe that.
Yeah.
You're definitely a professional now.
How much?
Okay, thank you. It's even got
Yeah,
a
but
crack
next-
in it and she wants it with the crack and all, so that's okay. There's tiny.
Raise your
tiny crack.
prices for the next one.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Wow.
How much did that go for?
Well, I gave it to her for $80 Canadian. But she gave me a lot of spalted beech to work with.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some really, really big logs. They're like 30 inches across. So I'm give her a deal.
That is beautiful.
Thanks.
Great job, Heather.
Nice bit
And
of
I just
bartering
used-
there too, Heather.
Pardon?
I said nice bit of bartering there too.
Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, she didn't even hesitate at the price. So I probably could have asked double and she would have taken it, but I'm not like that.
Yeah.
And I just used
Very
water-based markers, but I've ordered some alcohol-based markers. They're on their way. I should have them by next week from Amazon.
There you go.
Definitely a piece to
Very,
be
very
proud
cool.
of.
Very cool. It's great to
Yeah.
see that.
I kind of wanted to keep my first piece, but she wanted it, so I can make another one.
And they're all unique anyway.
They are, that's right.
Yep.
Yep. The next one's gonna be even nicer, so
Absolutely.
better have this one, yeah.
Yep, that's right.
job.
All right, thanks. That's it.
All right, thank you.
Nice.
All right, let's go to Dave. Hey, Dave.
How you doing? Oh,
Good.
I'll mute myself. Hang on a minute.
No, you're there.
You're there.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, I was doing real good here, and I was actually I have some of these stands,
stands, yeah.
stands that Trey's kind of told us about. But today I was using actually some. It'll come to me here, and it actually broke on me in the last probably 3 minutes. But I have this. I made an ornament back up here. So it's one way.
Practically
Anyway, it's
see through that thing.
it's one of those what do you call it? Urchin shells.
Mm-hmm.
I have the ebony I bought from Mark Soleil, and I've got some.
That's really nice.
And then want to make the other stains that kind of match the black and the white and the purple, stuff like that. But anyway, it's just a learning process for me, and
I lost
Muted.
your voice. Lost your
You
audio.
lost your audio, Dave.
I think,
Muted, Dave.
I think somebody muted.
Okay.
I think.
Are you there?
There
Gotcha
you
now.
Okay, well, anyway, so I was trying to use some of this ebony that Mark Slay that actually I bought from him, and it turns totally different than what I'm used to, and I bought some of these urchin shells. Anyway, but I was using some old fishing line from a 1940s fishing pole of my dad's for the hanger, and it broke. About 5 minutes before I went online here, but so I had to modify that. That's all I have tonight. It's just that it's a learning process of the delicacy of urchin shells and the hardness of the ebony. So it's a lot of fun.
It's really beautiful.
Thank you very
Yes.
much. Thank you very much.
Luckily, the fishing string broke instead of the finial.
Yes, and what surprised me is that the urchin shell didn't break. So
There you go. That too.
Urchin shells and more of the ebony. So anyway, I want to try to do some more of that. And right now on my lathe, I have the blank of some walnut and some lilac that I'm making a bread cutting knife, but that's still on the lathe. So I just wanted to share this with you. And again, thank everybody for all their expertise and intelligence on all this stuff. So you guys all have a good night.
Right on. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave. That's some great thin turning there. Very
Yeah,
nice.
It was nice. Very nice.
Thank you
Dave.
very much.
You know, Dave's thanking us. We should be thanking Dave. Well, we will be thanking Dave showing us that, because that's how we grow. We all share things. That's
Yep.
beautiful, gorgeous.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, let's go to Safety Sue.
Safety Sue's not too safety tonight.
I don't see any Band-Aids.
Are you feeling better?
I've got some health issues. I haven't been in the shop, but and that's one of the reasons why I haven't been in the shop. When I'm feeling terrible, I just don't go in there.
Yes.
But I got to tell you, the symposium was nice. It wore me out. I mean, you go over there around 8 o'clock, and I was glad I got I brought my walker with the seat in it so I could actually sit down and rest every once in a while.
Yeah.
And I did buy, well, I met Mike Hunter, nice guy. And I did buy a set of the micro tools for hollowing out small balls in boxes. And so I'm looking forward to using those. And met a lot of nice people there. You know, it's just great to be, well, you guys know, we do it every Wednesday, to sit down and just talk to turners just about turning, and it's just fun. So
some of the nicest people in the world.
Yes, they are.
But I saw that you had to hang out with Jim Selby.
Jim's online, but you know, as I was walking in, I saw him and his family walking out. They were getting wood or something, and I said, "I know you." And so Jim came over, and I gave him a big hug, and his wife kind of looked a little alarmed, and he goes, "This is Sue from Wednesday night."
Then she was okay.
Then yeah, it was okay then. And then I actually saw him when I was talking to Mike Hunter, and his wife took the picture of the two of us. So that was very nice. And so it was fun. But that was the only person that I saw from tonight's meetings at the symposium. But it was fun. It was fun.
I think we're gonna fix that, Sue. You see, you didn't see anybody else. We're gonna find somebody going to the symposiums, all of them, and send them a bundle of business cards for the club. There's no commercialism to it. It's just like, hey, you want to talk wood turning? You want to see wood turning? You want to talk to the world's finest wood turners? See, that's how you get that. Yeah, tune in, watch us.
I mentioned it to, I don't know how many people I talked to about it. And I even had a couple about my age, which is a secret. And they were writing down everything I told them so that they could come online. It was nice to see. There was a lot of people that said, yeah, I'd like to do that, especially when you tell them everything is free. You've got world-renowned turners giving demonstrations. So, yeah, it
Well,
was nice.
thank you. Thank you, Sue. Good to see you back.
Thank you.
All right. Let me
Feel
mention.
better.
Yeah.
Feel better, Sue.
Let me mention this right now while it just happened a moment ago. We have 5 or 6 or 7 co-hosts helping, and they're just helpers. They're here to help make the meeting flow. They can mute out folks if there's a background sounds. That's always a little bit of problem. If you have the TV on right over there, or your wife is watching Jeopardy in the next room, if you can hear it, we can hear it. So if you're going to have that background sound, you can mute yourself and unmute yourself. It's very simple to do. We'd really appreciate you working with us on that. We have gallery going right now, and we're having a pretty good showing tonight. We had a great demonstration by Chris Parker out of the UK, and that will be on our website on how to do infills. And he was using brass powder. And that's why if you go to our chat tonight, you will see probably a dozen suggestions, tips, links, connections, all this to brass powder, brass, all that stuff that you use for infill. That's what we do, really. And see, a minute ago, I was talking about passing out business cards. Billy Burt went to SWAT last year, and we gave Billy a pack of business cards, and Billy passed them out to everyone he saw. And we picked up a lot of new members, people joining us. I really want to keep that going. I think I can find a way to fund it. That's not a problem. But if you're going to a meeting or a seminar or whatever, and you like to have some to pass on to your friends, just let me know. We'll see what we can do about getting them to you. Now, we do have a printable business card on our website. Our webmaster has one on there that you can print, and it tells you what paper to use if you do it, the Avery set and all that. But I get my cards produced by Vista Print, and we'll do what we can, to promote the world's greatest wood turning club. And I said a business card on a website. That is the world's greatest wood turning website. No, if there was a challenge, they'd all be lined up trying for us. There's no challenge. We're out front. Add what you want to it. You got a tip, a trick, an idea, put it in there. That's what we're here for, really. I enjoy it. I go there all the time to see who's thrown what at Dave so he can add it to the site. And some great photographs there too. All right. I will do another newsletter this month. I got it about 150 photographs in it right now. Yeah. And there's no limit. There's no limit. I produce it and put it on Facebook. That's where you can get it. And on Facebook, you can grab a page, copy it. You can grab a page and do a screenshot and send it on to somebody. And I do include who the turner is. If I mess up and get the wrong name or whatever, correct me. I'll fix it. Sometimes going a little quick to get that, and you get mesmerized when you look at it, all this fantastic turning, and you say, man, I can do that. Well, how did he do that? I got something in the mail this week from somebody, and my wife said, I don't want to know how he did it. I want to know how he held it. If you can hold it, you can turn it. A lot of times you can't figure out how to hold it. So we have some more gallery going on. If you like to jump in, get there. What we'd like to hear more on the process of different finishes from start to finish. That's Dan Smith said that. You know, that's a great idea. That'd be a great demonstration. No, better than that, because this can be done. A series of demonstrations.
Yes, different
Or,
finishes.
yeah, you see, if I ask Brenda what to finish with it, she's going to say that 3408 stuff.
That's the best there is.
You see what we're going to get? But, and it might be for situation. But if we can get 4 or 5 folks to say, I want to help with demonstration on finishes, you can give us a very brief demonstration on what you believe the finish. Now, you don't have to do all the finish on one piece. You're doing a pen blank, say. You can sand it out, and you can explain how you sand it out, if you wet sand it, if you sand it with a wax or whatever, and then how do you seal it? How do you fill it? And then how do you protect it? You know, right now, if I asked all you folks, if you have an idea, I'd see 77 hands go up that says, I have an idea, and no two will be alike. Will you be out in the gutter fighting over this? I'd rather just see what you can do. And then folks like Dan were having a little bit of a problem, or not a problem, but just want more guidance on finishes. We'll step in and say, oh, I got that. Or, you know, what can we do about this? Can you expound on that? Et cetera, et cetera. That's where we want to go on that. So finishes is coming up, and we always looking for tips and tricks. Dane, do you have anybody up? I see a tip in the box.
We got this guy.
That's the guy I see.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
You're
we
muted,
can't
Bob.
hear him.
Yeah, how about that?
There you
You're
go.
good.
Okay. I, you know, every now and then I get splinters from either metal or wood or whatever. And I'm always looking for a new idea. You know, I've always used these little things, little jewelers, rouge, I guess, or whatever they call this thing. But the problem with these and most of the things, the focal length is too short. You know, it's way up here. You really can't, you've got to hold, if you got to have a splinter, you got to hold this, you got to hold the tweezers with something else. You can't do it with your finger, you know, that you're trying to get the splinter out of. So the last time I did, I bought glasses. I went to Bass Pro, and they actually have glasses that, you know, a 4X and a 5X, and that works pretty good. But then everything is distorted. You know, it's like looking through this. Everything around you, if it's not inside that focal area, it's distorted, out of focus. So you're limited again. But the best thing I've found is what everybody has. You've already got probably a selfie stick and your camera in your phone. The camera in most phones nowadays will actually do a micro camera or micro lens or micro picture. You focus on that, and you can actually, mine has a slider, but you know, if yours doesn't have a slider that allows you to slide up and down and make it different powers, you can use your 2 fingers and put on the screen and spread it apart like you're zooming in, and like it's changing my focus right now.
There are also pretty good microscope apps for the phones that use the phone cameras. So I know I've got one on my Android that gets in really close detail. If I can't see something, my glasses aren't working, that's what I go to.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they have those apps, and I looked at the apps too, but it's just as easy to use that phone. You know, my phone will do it times 10, and I don't need any closer than that. So, you know, and most of them will. Most of them nowadays will do that times 10. But there's several ways to do it, but some of them you have to put it into a micro mode. But most of them, I think you just use your 2 fingers and pinch the picture and make it larger.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that was my tip. It's easier, you know, and the focal length is not close. Now the focal length on that phone is probably 6 inches away. So you've got plenty of room to work with a pair of tweezers or whatever you want.
Thank you. Good idea. Good tip.
All right. Well, thanks, guys.
All right, Bob, appreciate it.
Yeah.
You know, splinters, like we don't all get splinters. I'll live for
Yeah.
you. It's a purple heart under my index finger. So, and that's a good idea, using a camera. Good use of
Yeah, you
technology.
need that selfie stick though, something to hold the camera, because you know, it's hard to hold that and do everything else too. So
Okay. I'd like to say I'll try that, but I want to avoid the splinters. So maybe somebody else can check it out and let us know. Thank you, sir. And if you want to show something on gallery tonight, we're open, we're rocking and rolling if you'd like to. We've got to give it a time. We've had some comments in the chat about finishes on products, and we really need to do that demonstration. Really, it's not mouth noise. It's the truth is we would like to have that demonstration done. Saw one in here says, what do you use to finish pens if you're using the 3408? And the 3408 is good, but the 3460 is thicker and it works better on pens. That's what I'm reading here, and that's from Dane. And others have some opinions on that and how to do it. I really believe that whatever you put on a pen has to stand up to this. This will destroy the pen. Their fingers, their contacts. If they stick it behind their ear, anything, the body oils will eat that stuff up. So look for something that's got a good, dense, hard finish on it. And often lacquers don't get it. You got to go a step or so further. And that's why first time I went to a meeting and saw a demonstration, it was at SWAT. I can't remember the gentleman's name. I think it was Reeves. Showed it. I heard a lot of folks say that's the silliest thing in the world until I tried it. And I had to go by his guidelines, or as Doug Rose says, rules. But I went along the whole thing, just like he said. And in fact, I went to a demonstration twice to make sure I didn't miss anything. I got back home, and the first day I used some Starbond super thin CA, and I was shocked. Oh, wait, I should back that up. I was astonished because my fingers stuck to that pen blank like you won't believe it. I mean, they were there. What I did miss was to isolate your fingers from the CA glue. And you can use a little plastic bag to do it. It's a handful of other ideas. Pay attention to them because you look kind of stupid walking around with a pen blank glued on your hands. But it's a great finish. But we will do that thing on finish. We're working on that. You want to be involved? Let us know. We will get you in the gallery for that. I was looking through a gallery, through the chat. See, if you got something to show tonight, some question to ask, a tip, a trick, or whatever, like this guy.
I could show one. I've shown this before, but this is an improvement on an improvement. This is that offset chuck.
Yes, it is.
I put it, yeah, this really works now. I put an adjustable stop on here. So it's 0, this is 0, and this is 0. So you're on center here. You bring this down to stop it. And then if you want to offset this a specific distance, I was using marks here, and they're hard to follow and they're hard to duplicate. Also, to get something in between the marks is hard to do. So I use a drill bit. So this is offset, whatever this is, maybe 1/4 inch drill bit. Just stick it in there. This is your 0 mark. So this indexes that back 1/4 inch. So you can get all different indexes there, and it's repeatable.
Hey, Jim, can you go back to the prior photo?
The what? This one?
That one. Thank you.
Okay.
Got it.
This is on number 2 jaws on a Talon chuck. You take 2 jaws off.
Is that like 50 millimeters?
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
It's interesting. I don't think my jaws will extend out of the body like that, but cool.
Number 2 jaws open 1.5 to 2 7/8.
Yeah.
You have to buy
So this
more
is
chips.
yeah, you just have to buy more chucks. That's it. Anyway, that's what it looks like there. And I've shown this before, but that's put together. This is probably 2 3/4 across here. Because this is an 1 5/8 in here. It gives you some wall thickness, but anyway, it really works. It makes some neat pendants.
Yeah, it
And the
looks good.
The other one was, I told you before, on this flat surface here. This flat surface, if you sand the other side off and taper it about 1/16 of an inch, this gives you a high spot on this side. So when you cut, instead of just cutting rings in here in the surface of this thing, you're cutting half moons. You're cutting arcs.
Crescents.
Crescents, yes. Okay, that's it for me.
Slick. So slick.
Like that Adam.
Now I
Thanks,
got.
Jim.
Now we're waiting to see Billy's Burt edition of it.
Yeah, Billy's got to remake his now.
He's
Yeah.
gonna do.
He's going to do it tonight. We know that.
No, not tonight.
Okay. That's where we get these ideas from. Jim's been kind to show us all these tips and tricks. That came about, we were talking about making medallions. So if you turn a little 2-inch medallion for your niece and nephew, grandchild, or whatever, and you want to put some crescents or some other decoration on it, that's the perfect holding device. Because that, coupled with some good double stick tape, you can move it, put it on there, index it, change it, move it back. Just first thing to do, play with a pencil before you put the knife to it. Play with a pencil, because you can be shocked at how things will change. Maybe to the degree to where you yourself, you'll be thinking, how did that get cut? That's where these gizmos, gadgets, tips, and tricks all come through. How did it get cut? And I'm a great fan of it, of seeing those little novelty items. See that pendant would work for jewelry. I mean, how would you like to see Sergeant Doug Rowe, Professor Doug Rowe, with a little cute little medallion hanging on the front of him, maybe little sparklies on it and stuff like that. I mean, if that won't turn you off, nothing in this world will.
Oh, from the nose.
I could show a piece here, an example of that.
That's the one I was talking about.
Yeah.
Perfect. To throw those hoops and those crescents in there.
Yeah.
And you have yours infilled with a color of some sort.
There's a, yeah, all right, there's a little red, I don't know what it is, but make a mark on there before you do a cut. Make a mark on there with a pencil, because it's amazing. Save yourself a lot of time. But
What setting did you put that jig in order to get the crescents?
Sue, you don't really think I remember that, do you? There's no way. There's no way on the third side.
Hey, Stu, that's the setting for that is called trial by error.
Yeah.
Well, first place, this is domed. This has got a little dome on it. And then when you almost need a little dome, because then you can pick up as it comes around, you pick up on one side of that dome. But
Okay.
Cool.
I can play.
But once you get it, and it's kind of neat to put a circle around it, because
frame it
rather than just have crescents in the middle of a disc, it kind of shows the center and then it kind of exaggerates the whole thing.
Right.
Shows that it's off center.
Yeah, so he off-centered it one direction, like 1 or 2 notches. You can see how far it is off center. And then he just made a couple of cuts.
There's another one that's.
Oh
Okay,
my.
but I can understand, changing the off center by moving it back and forth. But you've got notches on your the circle where
So
you're
on-
going. Yeah,
so
what,
on the
Yeah,
face-
so what you can
Go
do,
ahead,
Sue,
Matt.
is you can rotate that. That's where the rotation bit comes
Yeah.
in. It's where you rotate it and you can then shift that pattern, 30 degrees or 60 degrees or whatever you want to shift it. So instead of, not only do you do the first, I should let Jim do this, but it's like.
Oh, no, that's right. Instead of rotating this, if you rotate this, you can bring these around to different quadrants. But
okay,
this is left, the round part in the chuck stays on the 0. And this just moves
Okay.
back and forth, okay?
okay.
This is another one. This is just
That-
fun. I shouldn't.
That's
show
where
it.
you put the drills
Yeah.
against your stop. Is that
Yeah.
how you move the crescents?
Actually, on one of these, I would probably just do. I would probably just do one. I wouldn't even use the drill. I'd offset a little bit and do the big one. Put a line on here first. And do the big cut and then offset a little more and try it. Because you could use different size drills, I suppose. But the drill comes in handy when
For
you start
repeating.
indexing this around and
Yeah.
changing things.
Okay.
It comes, this is kind of fun. This is getting out of the, anyway, this is turned
Oh my.
and cut into a puzzle piece. So 2 people could have these, you could have 2 different,
Oh
You know.
my goodness.
and then you could take it apart.
Cut that on the bandsaw?
Yeah, no, scroll saw.
Scroll saw?
If it was 12
Definitely
inches in
didn't use a
diameter, I
hacksaw.
could do it. If it was 12 inches in diameter, I could do it on the bandsaw, but it's only.
Funny.
Anyway,
Wow.
Kind of like the key and lock my wife and I used to carry or wear.
anyway, yeah.
Good
That's the
stuff,
fun.
Jeff.
Very nice, Jim. Thanks.
All right. Well, I think we have a new person here. So everybody,
I'm talking. Can you see me?
Yep.
oh, I'm looking for you.
Good. All right, it's Matt Harbor's fault.
Oh dear.
We hear that a lot. We do.
My husband and I, he's standing behind me in the blurry because my office is so messy. I couldn't do it. Anyway,
Yeah, we can see him back here.
yeah, we started turning last year, but really we only have about 50 hours each of doing stuff. And I started out with little bowls, like everybody does. Hold on. I don't know where all my stuff is. Anyway, little balls like this. And I did some.
Wait, hold on. That was too fast.
You're moving too fast.
No, but I don't want to show the balls.
She's nervous and jerky.
We want to see them.
We want to see the bowls.
Just a second. I haven't found them yet. Doug should probably look for them because I can't find my favorite one. Well, anyway, I did little bowls like this. Whoops.
Go higher. Oh, cute.
But I had some inlay. But why is it blurry? Oh, it's in my blurry background.
Yeah.
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 Oh, nice.
I'll turn the blurry background off, I guess. I don't know how. Anyway. And then I moved on to the
Michelle, your camera's only have your camera's only going to have one focal plane. If you even with the line of your face back towards you, it will keep you. Yeah, it will keep it better in focus.
you know how to get
That
rid
is gorgeous.
of that.
That's pretty.
There it is, right there. Okay.
If I could get rid of the blurry, I would. And then I went on then I've been moving up to a little bigger. These are lights.
What are you using for the top?
Huh?
That's an electric votive candle.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I got it.
It's a tea light thing.
Yeah, I got it.
How do I remove the blur?
Remove spotlight.
Remove spotlight?
No, click the,
Don't put it on.
Whoop,
yeah.
that ain't it.
There.
That ain't it.
Now you get to see my messy office.
There you go.
Okay, there, I'm sorry about that, guys.
It's a great creating space, Michelle. Don't sell it short.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I've got all sorts of media. Then this one was, I have no idea, it was rotten wood.
Oh, pretty.
What they
Silver
call,
maple.
what they call that is fog found on ground.
Colors, please. Yeah, I know, I
Silver
did.
maple.
Found on ground,
Silver
yeah.
maple.
Is it? And then,
Yes.
I learned that.
then I got this, but Doug's getting my other ones. And then I went to, I'm doing more of these that are.
Nice.
I like that.
But then, I started doing little tea light lamps.
Oh, neat.
Oh, that's
Ooh,
cool.
That's neat.
Very
I love that.
pretty.
And then, let's see, then I did this, this waterfall.
Oh, that's cool too.
This one.
That's just,
That
Oh.
lamp, was that natural?
yeah,
Ooh.
it's all, and then, so now I've done the pillars.
I like that.
Nice.
And
You got some
I-
very creative ideas.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
really, but
Ooh, that's
The-
cool.
So
the-
what
the
is it you're
crystal-
what is it
the
you're
crystal-
blaming me for, Michelle?
you're
The crystal
fine, I
inlays are
know
cool.
this stuff. And we've become,
Rabbit hole.
and we've become, wood whores or wood
Yes.
Yes.
All the above.
We stop everywhere where we see wood and say, Matt, it's your fault. Yeah.
That much is true. That much is true.
So we're,
Good job, man.
Nice.
Guilty.
Nice.
yeah, and he, well, Doug has been doing some beautiful.
Oh, that's
bowls.
pretty.
But
Pretty.
I had to do the first toes. So now he'll do the, no. No, that's all, guys.
So,
We've
Make
been
him show him. Make him show him.
so she makes these things in 20 minutes. She's getting pretty
Nice.
good at it.
But the stuff that we learn on this, we've been watching this since Matt told us like several months ago. And it's very intimidating. You guys are so brilliantly talented. It's crazy. But we do appreciate all the tips and everything and wish we could, someday we'll be as good maybe. But Doug
You
will
will
show
be.
next week because he's got some beautiful bowls. That's all. Thank you guys. Thanks.
Nice.
Great
Nice.
job,
Good.
Michelle.
That's
Thanks for
nice.
contributing.
Very nice.
Very good, Michelle.
Michelle.
Thank you.
Lucky to have Matt. Bye.
Yeah, Matt lives a few miles away, several miles away.
Oh, that's nice. You can have him come over and give you a private
Yeah.
lessons.
Yeah, he's gonna show us how to do some wood burning.
There you go.
There he is. Somebody
Alright.
clicked on him. Well, wait, let's go back to him again.
How do I get rid of?
Joaquin.
Oh, hello.
Here he is.
Hiya. Well, I had a friend give me a cherry barrel that I finally got around to turning.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Mhm.
That's nice.
That's
Very
pretty.
Yeah,
nice.
it's the way it looked, I didn't think it'd be like this. It was really holy and a lot of wormholes, but then it got down to the solid part and it looks good. And-
Was that from up?
Okay.
Was that from up here, Joaquin?
No, I don't know
Okay.
where you got it from. I do have a couple of burls from up there I haven't turned yet. You know, they're oddball and I just don't really know what to do with them, but I'll get around to it. But anyway, and there's a bowl in a bow made out of mesquite.
That's pretty.
Nice. Oh my God, that's one piece.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
It was supposed to be a little higher, here, about a half-inch higher, and it slipped in my jam chuck. And I wasn't able to make it as high as I wanted to make it over here on this side. And it's round on the bottom, don't set flat. I did make a little bow or piece for it. This is out of Texas 70. It looks good all by itself, actually.
Oh my
Yeah, it
goodness.
does.
Loved
Put
it.
that in.
So Joaquin, with your bowl
Ooh.
and a bowl, did you do the outside one first or the inside one first?
The outside. So you do
Okay.
the outside first, then cock it in your jam chuck and cut the inside.
Gotcha. Okay.
Wow.
Todd Raines has got a video on the IRP.
Yeah, I didn't want to take the trouble to search for it because I know there's videos out
yeah.
there.
Well, the one
you
that
were here, so I thought I'd ask.
The original one out there is in German. You can't understand it.
Mm.
Yeah.
Unless you speak German.
And this is one of my crotch pieces. This is Texas ebony.
Ebony,
A very
yes.
big piece.
That's pretty.
Yeah.
Very nice. Nice and thin.
Yeah. I didn't on this Texas ebony, the heart wood is so skinny inside of it. It's more sapwood. I really wanted all that to be dark inside, but I wasn't able to make it. Well, I could have made it happen if I'd have dished it instead of went straight and had it all dark. But this is what I ended up with.
That's beautiful.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
All right. Thank you.
Well, since you don't like that, you can send that to me and I'll take care of it for you.
Yeah.
You're a great man.
I know you're
Bob.
good for that. Anything, anytime, Bob.
All right. Thanks, Joaquin.
You bet.
Let's go to Scott. Hey, Scott.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
I got you, buddy.
Okay. I just made a little pendant this week. If I can get it to hang straight.
Making us dizzy.
Bring it back towards you.
There we
There.
go.
There you go.
Oh, very
nice.
Nice.
Just
Very
a,
nice.
Yeah,
It's
take it
off,
closer, back to you.
it's a bottle. It's just a piece of scrap off a bottle stopper. So
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah.
very
Did you
nice.
paint that then?
no, it's acrylic.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I call it my Harley pendants. The people around here, a lot of Harley riders around here, and they sell fast.
Black and orange.
Ah, cool.
Pretty, yes.
And it's domed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Very
cool.
nice.
Very nice.
The next one's gonna get made on Jim's jig. I'm gonna put some slices in the next one.
Yeah. Hey,
That's
Scott.
all.
Yeah, Scott.
I downloaded Zoom. I had to do it about 3 times and get it back in, fix my camera, everything's okay. I appreciate you for that information last week.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
Yep.
Let's see. Nope. All right, Eddie, back to you. Champion of the Chuck.
That was
Hell, no mileage was afforded to that. I'll throw it out there.
yeah. All right. That was a suggestion last week. The challenge, champion of the Chuck.
Don't cry now. I know.
I didn't even understand what PTSD stood for until just a while ago. We've got a couple of, just a minute ago, we saw Joaquin show the crotch. Well, next week, the day after Thanksgiving, and don't forget Thanksgiving.
Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. I'm sorry. Well, I'm glad the door was closed.
You must be hungry.
I got married on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, don't forget that.
33 for 34. I don't remember how many years, but we have a gallery next week. Show me your crotch. So if you've got something with a crotch, join us next week. We want to see what you've turned, how it came out, how you created it. But when we do these things, the comment, listen to tonight, the questions were, how big is it? What is the finish? How did you hold it? Et cetera, et cetera. So when you show us your work, share with us your technique. Because a lot of times I always say, if you can hold it, you can turn it. Learning how to hold something is a challenge. I mean, we saw the piece done tonight that, can't remember his name, Howard showed us that had those two big long ears on it, or flaps on it. And we all were wondering how you did that without it walking all over the place. He held it right. He held it right. And there's some secrets to that we want you to share with us. If you're good at holding an open wing piece, or even I don't say a deteriorating piece. I want to say a special piece of wood that has got some fungal or some rot or some decay on it. And you don't want to do the epoxy fix. You don't want to accent those pieces. You want those voids, holidays, gaps, whatever, to show your piece, give it character. Sometimes you need to stabilize it or hold it before you can turn the inside. Otherwise, going down the harmonics of your tool and the wood will not meet up. And just like we saw one with Billy Bird tonight, he went a little thin, got a little walk, and went through the side. There are certain ways and certain opportunities you have to keep that from happening. We want to see your ideas on that. And it can be real simple. You just show us. You don't have to turn it. You have to do a demonstration. Show us that. Like Jim Duxbury he showed us that offset eccentric jig. So what do we call Billy? What are we calling that?
Off-center jig.
Okay. All right. And he showed us the outcome. And then just a minute ago, we somebody showed us Scott showed us some medallions he turned out of epoxy and drops, and he's going to make one of those off center and indexable chucks, off center indexable chucks.
Yeah.
And then he could add more artwork to them. And as Jim was showing us one he had highlighted in red, I did some a while back. Same thing. I used my Ruth Niles jig to do it. And that's a joiner, Joyner jig. And you can do almost exactly the same thing. It's just, you got to pay for it. This way you can make your own. But I did it and I infilled it with a reflective or glittery paint I picked up at Michael's Arts and Crafts, and put it in there, filled it in. The next day, put it back on a flat and sanded it back out. The sparklies kind of added to it. One of my granddaughters has it, and I see her with it occasionally. So it's a cute little medallion, and it's something to play with. And I've said it several times, and I don't keep repeating myself. Do these trinkets and give them away. Now, you can sell them at the craft fairs if you choose, but for those of us that don't do the craft fairs or sales, simple, give them away. Give them to someone you love. Make sure they understand that it's your creation for them. Really goes a long way. It feels good right in here. Really does. Makes you feel great. Let me see what we got here coming up. Wow. Today I was reminded that 50 years ago today, I was invited to leave snowy Wordsmith, Alpena, Mississippi, and go to Guam to serve 6 months with Nixon's second bombing run. It was nice. Went from -2 to 83 degrees in 2 days. And then we all bought cough medicine. It was a fun time. But, it's what it's all about. Hey, we still have Freedom Pen Challenge going on. And that's not a challenge. Freedom Pen is when you turn an ink pen. Your choice, your style, your color, whatever you want. And then you donate it to Freedom Pens. And we have contacts for all 5 military services. I'm probably 6. We have Space Force included too. We can put those pens in the hands of those who protect our freedom. It's an important thing. Remember, they're working for a whole lot less money than we would ever conceive to be an income. And they're protecting our freedom, and they volunteered to do that job. It'd be nice to give them a little gift. Say, yeah, this is from Paul or Terry or Matt or Billy or whatever, and it's for you. And you can put a card in with them. You can put a card. If you have a business card, that's okay. Or you just put a little note to them that says, thank you for preserving our freedom. Use any words you want, but thank them for preserving our freedom. And that is a proper thing to do. And that's freedom pens. So if we have any get more gallery, we'll get to them tonight. We'd like to see them. We've got about 20 minutes left before we pull the plug. I use that term, pull the plug. At 9 o'clock, I normally leave this arena, but Trace keeps the button on. And if like this troublemaker right here wants to stick around and talk, and, you know, he's got it. Just watch what he's got. Terry, how are you tonight?
Well, I'm doing pretty good since I finally figured out how to use this thing again. I had the setting wrong and I kept sending it into the chat that I had something and it didn't work. And I guess that's what happened last week. I was sending it to an individual instead of to everybody. And last week I haven't been in the shop. I've been dealing with a sick friend. Anyway, I showed the last 3 lamps that I put together last week, but it was like 9:30 and everybody was gone. So I was going to try to show them a little earlier tonight. But as I said, I messed up the chat thing. So anyway, oh no. Now I messed up everything. Wait a minute, maybe I get it back.
There you are.
There, I pushed the wrong button again. I get it there somehow. I hope my turnings are better than my skill. I was out in the shop with nothing to do when I started playing with old lamps that I had started before, and you're probably all tired of seeing my old lamps. But I had these that weren't finished, so I finished them up. These 2, I don't have that one plugged in because I don't have enough plugs. But these 2, I don't know what the wood is for the shade, and it didn't really come through the light with no character and not very pretty, but I finished them up anyway. And the bases are hackberry that I had.
I bet if you had the other lights off, that'd look nice.
Turn all the lights off?
Beautiful.
The other lights.
Yeah, no, if you turn the room lights off, you'd probably get pretty good.
I don't have any of the room lights on. Those are just the 2 table lights.
Oh, okay.
That's
like
the
that
other
one.
one.
That's pretty.
No.
But that's a piece of Norfolk Island pine, the shade is. And like I say, all 3 of the bases are hackberry. And they're spalded and they're really good. They've got a Minwax tongue oil finish on them. And they come out pretty good. I kind of like that stuff. It's a little tricky to work with because it takes so long to dry. It takes like 24 hours between coats. And then you have to buff it out a little between coats, but it comes up with a real nice finish. And that's pretty much what I got. I just finished up them 3. There were pieces that were laying around the shop for a while. And the center one looks a lot like that one when it's plugged in, but
that's nice.
That one don't have any character. It's just plain pink. But that's pretty much what I did. I ain't been in the shop much at all this week with trips back and forth to the hospital. And then trying to help my friend with his business that he's not taking care of because he's in bed. So
good for you.
That's what I've been doing. And that's it.
Really pretty, Terry.
Got a dog fight.
Did you turn them too?
What's that? If I wasn't on me.
Okay, I got a private message a few minutes ago. Somebody saying, "I will help you cover the cost of the business cards." We have a policy against that. This is ours. Really, it's ours. How to put this? 3 years ago, I fussed at by somebody because we were selling decals, stickers to members for what they cost us. And the insinuation was we're making money at it and we're supposed to be actually not for profit. We have no money to change anyway at all. We'll take care of the cards. I'll take care of the cards. I just made a note. Tomorrow I'm going to slip in a box. The boss won't catch it. Yeah, she doesn't look that close at the bank accounts every week. Close enough. But we'll take care of getting the cards. All you have to do is let me know that you're going to a symposium or a meeting or a function or a club get together, whatever, and you like to promote in our club and get them joined. Bring a friend. Tell them, hey, where do you think Michelle came from? Blame it on Matt.
Hey, Eddie, I have a question on the cards. Is there a way or a service that we could use? And I think there probably is, where you could put the image of the card there. And like, if I wanted to order 50 of them or whatever, I could do that myself.
It's in vistaprint.com, and I'll have to see what it is. And if I can share the design.
Yeah, I have a Vistaprint account. That'd be great.
Yeah, and let me look and see if there's no way for me to give you the art. We'll just create a Vistaprint website and give you the website and give you the access code, and you can go there and do your own. Well, we work on that
because that way you guys wouldn't incur any costs other than, you know, getting the art done, and those of us who want them could just pay for the ones we wanted.
I'm all for it. We'll work with you on it. We will.
All right, well, if I can help, let me know.
Thank you, sir.
I think Vistaprint is like minimum of 100, I think, but they're not expensive.
Yeah, it's cheap. I mean, I've ordered thousands and only paid like $30-40 for cards. So
absolutely.
And that's
500 is like 40 bucks, depending upon the amount of art.
Yeah. And we'll have the art generated and it'll be there.
It's a double-sided
and we don't do the back of the cards. It's a good, simple thing. And there's no advertisement. We might be dating people, but we're not married to any companies or organizations or functions or any of that. Because we want to stay isolated from that influence. Very important for us. That's when we started this. I was getting asked by a lot of my friends in the industry that I've dealt with for years and years and years. I've worked with them at conventions and symposiums and all this. I wasn't interested in taking any money to do this. I was interested in having it done. So we will do what we need to do. But like I said, ask your friends. Matt told this to Michelle. Michelle joined us tonight and showed us some really beautiful turnings. We got a handful of other turners that came the same way. Bring somebody you know from your club or whatever. That's what we want to see. It's about quarter to the top of the hour. I was saying a minute ago, we don't pull, I say pull the plug. I sign off and leave it to an open forum. And you can keep going for as long as Trace will sit there and listen to you and talk with you. You do know it's got to be proper, got to be kind, it cannot be vulgar. We don't do politics or religion. That's just basic things to keep all friends on the same step. And that's what we do. I do know in the past it's ran to midnight Central Time. You don't have to stay there, but if you want to talk and share ideas, I mean, 2-3 weeks ago, we had, I think it was Dave Kingsley had some problems. And Dave stayed with us stayed with the program after hours and got some of his answers. Didn't you, Dave? Dave, wasn't that you that had that little problem a couple of weeks ago? And we stayed with you.
I didn't stay late, no.
There's been multiple people that stayed on late, hashing out issues.
Yeah, and it's a fun time. It's a good way to get the information from all the members that stick in. We were up at 85, 86. I'm looking at 91 members tonight that joined in. We're down to like 57. And there's some diehards. I love you. There's diehards. We'll say goodnight to Mike, and it'll be 25 that won't leave. I mean,
we had a pretty good. A couple of weeks ago, we had a pretty good. We were on here till 11 one night talking about how to price your stuff. I thought
Yeah.
that was an excellent after hours session. And I don't remember, who all was in there, but we had a very spirited discussion on, how to price your stuff and how to sell things and how to, because somebody was asking. So.
Yeah, that's good interaction between us. And I said, some nights I'll say goodnight. And Donald in Australia, remember, he's just eating breakfast, and he's joining us. And Donald will tell you right now, save the chat. But Donald's one of the last ones to leave. And I've sat and watched how when people cancel out. I'm surprised that and that's what Trace was watching that and figured, we can just keep it open for a while. If it's sharing information, I'm all for it. So I think that's covered all my notes I had tonight. If you'd like to share something, get in, talk, show, got a problem, whatever, jump on board. This is your meeting, and pretty much it.
Eddie, I was going to say something earlier and forgot. And this is kind of to the club as a whole. The co-host, Eddie has said it several times. All the co-hosts are unpaid, unsolicited. Folks have just jumped in, and every once in a while, I know we didn't so much tonight, but the last couple of weeks we had a couple of people who wanted to show some things in gallery, and we just didn't get to them. And I know Dane was having some issues with the chat and being able to keep up with it. And I was trying to help him last week. We did fairly good, but I still think we left somebody out. I'm not sure who it was. I just want to say, don't get upset with us. Just hold on to it and show it to us the next week. We'll be glad to. We're not cutting out anybody on intentionally. It's purely by accident when we miss somebody.
And if you really wanted to show it, you'd speak up and say, "Hey, I want to show my piece."
That's the other thing you
Yeah.
can do.
That's it. Don't be shy. Just jump in there.
We ran overtime because it just kept going and going and going, which is fine. Remember, we don't have a rule list. Well, we do. Got to be nice, etc. But there's no hierarchy, no limit. It'd be your first minute here, whatever, your first visit, you're part of the gang, the crew, and you're sitting on a tailgate out in the parking lot, sharing stories and lying about wood turning, and that's exactly what we want to do. I had one or two more things. Earlier in the meeting, I spoke about creating a format, and I'm still working on that, to where we can kind of give targets for different portions of the meeting for folks to get an idea when to join a meeting or what particulars they want to see or whatever. But keep in mind, no matter what we do for a format, the entire meeting, our webmaster puts the entire meeting on the world's greatest wood turning website, the whole meeting. And he had look at this week. It took him 5 days to find where it got filed at in his computer because of a glitch. But he got it up there, and he'll have the excerpts from the demonstrations, so you can see just those demonstrations. And those are on our website. So if you wonder how Matt Harbor did the gnome, and I can't get a picture of it up here because we're in this meeting. Beautiful red hair, natural edge piece. Gorgeous. We're doing a gnome thing for in a couple of weeks on
15th.
March 15th. But his demonstration on how to do that, how to prepare it, how to get it on, and how to hold it. Okay, I say hold it, you can turn it. I came up with 3 different ways to hold the piece that Matt was showing. 3 different ways. And none of those 3 required a chuck. All right. Got to bring it down in numbers because we all can't go buy $300-$400 chucks. So I got to bring it down to the level that we can all afford. And wait, here it is. Look, I told you about that gnome. There's the gnome. Isn't that a beautiful piece?
A hottie.
Yeah.
Ginger.
But you know,
Thanks, guys. Yeah, you could turn that between centers, no problem.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Move along.
a dowel on a faceplate.
There you go.
Shop turn Morse taper plug in your spindle.
Wormwood screw.
Right. Oh, you see what we're doing right there. That's exactly what we want to do. You think you know about it? You have a better way to do it? We want to know about it. We want to know the better way to do it. I love that. I guess in a couple of weeks to do another tips or tricks, way the fair warning. So maybe some of you guys can run with Jim showing those and gadgets that come up. We all have them. We all love them. We all use them, and we can all make them. And remember, when you make the tool, it's your tool. One, your tool. You did it for a whole lot less money. And the third thing is, it's your tool. Still your tool. You don't have to explain to anybody where you bought it from or anything else. It's right there. You made the thing. And you get, look, we started that thing with that jig, off center indexing jig, a couple of weeks ago. And the very next week, Jim came back to us with an idea how to put one more little tab on it to change how you can set it up. So what we're doing, the guy that created the jig was sitting there watching us and said, oh, wait, you know what I can do? And that's what we're here for. So have fun. Save the chat.
Hey, Eddie, let's go to Dave Rose. He's got a comment to make.
Just want to make a quick comment. I did have problems last week getting the video up. It's going to get up this evening. I finally found all the pieces which have been thrown around my website, but I want to assure people we shouldn't have that problem again in the future, because today I've had 2 people volunteer to back Eddie and I up. I record it, Eddie records it. Now Billy Burt and Gary have both volunteered to do additional backups. Between 3 and 4 of us, we ought to be able to get at least one copy that's
awesome.
Good. I don't normally have problems, but I do live in an area where from time to time my internet goes down.
Good to have redundancy.
But we'll try to avoid that in the future. Just wanted to mention.
Good to have backup. Somebody stepping in.
And remember, consider this, folks. If you want to make your own personal copy on your computer, all you have to do is ask us in chat, and we'll put that. We'll give those rights to you on our Zoom account. But it has to be done each week. That's not a continuing thing with Zoom. So if you want it, ask for it, and we'll set it up. Dave, okay.
I really appreciate having the recordings and having the way you split them out, Dave. I think it's fantastic. And I can pick and choose which ones I want to see and which ones I want to send to people and stuff. I think it's great. You do great work on it. I'm very delighted to have that capability. So thank you.
I'm happy it's helping.
And you have to consider what we do in this meeting is just like any other club meeting anywhere. We talk, lie, tell stories, meet with friends, and have a good time. I mean, look, Sue was hugging on Jim Shelby down in Florida, and right in front of his wife. But we have friends. We've made friends in this group, and that's the key to it. Other clubs have got the same thing, and they don't realize the power that's available right now on Zoom, YouTube, Facebook, and there's a dozen others where you can share the information. If your club is not recording and distributing your demonstrations, you're missing out. Now, if you got an IRD going or you're paying a demonstrator, you have to get their permission, just to be kind. But get it out there and put it on. And I'd love to find a network of all the different clubs that will do this. So if Monday morning, I want to see what's happened in the last week or so on wood turning, I can pop through these meetings and see who demonstrated what, who's got what, what's going on, where it's at, demonstration symposiums and all that. It's all sharing for us. And we do have an event calendar on our website, and to get things on there, you put them in a chat, and Dave will pull them out of the chat and put them on our website. And that's free. We don't charge for that. Cade Boger's got one up tonight. He's got an IRD coming up. And he gave you all the details, how to sign in, where to go to get it. Scott Hampton does the same thing. We have no problems with that. When Mark Slay is around, Mark will say where he's going and who he's seeing. That's great. It's all for the benefit of what we do. Okay. I think that wraps up our stuff. I'm going to remind you once again. Well, really, Dave's going to remind you. Dave, David in Australia, what's the key words tonight?
Donald.
It's the chat.
Save the chat.
Listen, but save the chat.
Save the chat. That's Donald Masterson in Larvik, Australia. Yeah, we covered the globe. Our demonstrator tonight was out of Great Britain, and we had a good one. We had some really great demos come out of those groups over there, and it's like 2 o'clock in the morning or something, and they're still with us. So, and that's what they'll do, just to share what we share. With that, folks, personally, I got to pull the plug. The boss is giving me the hand signals. And if you ever wonder if she can make signals, she makes really good hand signals. But I'm going to tune out. I will see you back here next week on Wednesday evenings. You make my day. I want to see you back, and bring a friend if you would, please. Good night, everybody. And please, by the word of
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Hey, yo.
God bless.
Good night.
Nighty night.
I'm a pajama.
It's open chat. You don't need to leave. If you want to talk. It's open, no format.